everybody, and welcome into TD Ameritrade Park here in Omaha, Nebraska, the site of the 2019 College World Series. You're here for WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. I am Austin Falco, alongside Andy Laidlaw. We'll hear from Daniel Thompson later on as well, as we've got Game 6 of the College World Series on tap today. The visiting Michigan Wolverines against the home team in the home dugout, the Florida State Seminoles. And two great head coaches, two very different head coaches in each dugout today, Andy.
Two head coaches. One head coach was the National Coach of the Year, and one head coach is the winningest coach of all-time Division I baseball. Eric Bakich versus Mike Martin. Mike Martin, in his 40th year and final year here at Florida State, has a career record of 1,987 wins and 713 losses. 17 trips to the College World Series, and he is looking for that first championship in his tenure.
The Michigan lineup today, we'll get it to you right off the bat here before the teams even take the field. Jordan Wogu is the designated hitter for the Wolverines today. He leads off the ball game. Jesse Franklin will play center field and bat second. Batting third, the right fielder Jordan Brewer. In the four-hole, Jimmy Kerr plays first base for Michigan. Batting fifth and playing third base is Blake Nelson. In left field, batting sixth is Christian Bullock. Jack Blomgren is the shortstop for Michigan. He bats seventh. Joe Donovan bats eighth. He's behind the plate today. And Akeo Thomas, the second baseman, rounds out the lineup in the nine-hole. And Michigan's go against a very good right-hander for Florida State. C.J. Van Eyck, the sophomore, has a 3.80 ERA and a 10-3 record on his 17 starts this season. He's pitched 94 and two-thirds innings, struck out 120 batters, walked 39, and batters hit 227 against the right-hander.
Yeah, Van Eyck is an absolute excellent pitcher here for Florida State. Many consider him to be the ace of this Florida State staff, and Mike Martin went with him today in Game 2. He's a tall and lengthy righty, has a fastball that sits around 92 to 95. He actually can hit at some points 97, and his super regional against LSU even hit up to 98 on that gun. So he's got a lot of velocity on that fastball. He's also got a great 12-6 curveball. He has a changeup that he loves to use. Many think he throws it about 20% of the time. His last three starts, ACC tournament against North Carolina State, 6 innings, 0 earned runs, 11 strikeouts. And in the Super Regionals against LSU, 7 1/3, 4 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. He likes to go deep into games. His last three starts, 99 pitches, 104 pitches, and 112 pitches. This guy is a very good right-handed pitcher. He's got a lot of talent to him. He's lengthy. He throws that very, very high-velocity fastball. And if Michigan's going to want to win against this guy, they're going to have to get him early because, Coach Martin loves to take this guy out late in the game.
Yeah, we mentioned he goes deep into ball games, really gives that Florida State pen plenty of rest. Before we really get started, as Jordan Wogu starting to make his way up to the plate. We'll give you the umpires for the game today as well. Over behind the plate will be Greg Charles. Perry Costello's around at first base. Billy Hayes at second, and Scott Klein over there at third base. Jordan Wogu is stretching up to the plate.
Yup, another great day here in Omaha, man. This College Road Series has not disappointed at all. Every single game that we have watched has been fantastic. All 5 of them, this being the 6th. I'm hoping for another great baseball game here from the Wolverines and the Seminoles.
Wogu versus Van Eyck. First pitch of Game 6 is grounded towards third base. It'll be a third baseman for Florida State fielding it, throwing it over. That's Mendoza to Smith on the other end for the first out on just one pitch in this ballgame.
Yep, quick work there for Van Eyck through an inside pitch to Jordan Wogu. One thing that Wogu doesn't like to do often, he doesn't like to pull the ball too often. Right there, grounds out. Pretty hard hit ball right there to Mendoza. Very sharp throw to first. Good start there for the Florida State Seminoles. That's something you gotta love for Van Eyck there. One pitch, one out.
That'll bring up Jesse Franklin, the center fielder for Michigan today, as he has been all season long. Franklin comes in batting .251 on the season, along with 12 home runs, 49 RBIs. He swings hits one deep towards right center, right field, down the line. If it's fair, it's gone, and that ball is gone! Jesse Franklin, second pitch of the ball game, sends one into section 136 down the right field line, and Michigan leads 1-0.
I think it is safe to say that may have been the longest ball hit here in TD Ameritrade. Second pitch of the game. Jesse Franklin hits a bomb to right field. Man, that was a shot. He got a fastball right down the plate. He got those hips through, those hands through, and that ball was gone. What a shot by Jesse Franklin, and what a start for the second straight game here in Omaha. The Wolverines tack on a run in the top of the first. Big hit there for Jesse Franklin.
And a much needed one as well. Jesse Franklin not barreling up many balls at all over the last month or so of the season. Nice to see him and his power return for his 13th home run of the season that leads the team. And he turns it over to Jordan Brewer, who takes the pitch down for ball one.
Yeah, it is so underappreciated how much a run in the top of the first feels for every single team. Now Tommy Henry can go out and do what he normally does on the mound. That is a huge run for the Wolverines.
The second pitch is taken on the outside corner for a strike. Jordan Brewer did a little bit of a check swing there. The count's even up at 1 ball and 1 strike on the Big Ten Player of the Year.
Yeah, Jordan Brewer, a guy who Saturday looked very comfortable to plate again. A lot of hard hit balls.
He swings and misses. Big swing and miss there at that offering from Van Eyck, and he comes up empty. It's 1-2 now on the Michigan right fielder.
Yeah, for Van Eyck here, you got a 1-2 lead on probably the best hitter in this Michigan lineup. Still here 1-2, you got a comfortable position. That's still pitch away from Jordan Brewer. You just threw a breaking ball, throw another one.
Swing and fouling it back behind the plate was Brewer there. He went with the off speed again, as you mentioned. The count remains 1-2.
Yep, he's got Brewer set up really well here. 2 straight breaking balls that Brewer fouled off and swung and missed. Now Van Eyck with the high velocity fastball, see if he can reach 96 here at the top of the zone.
Let's go Blue Chance. You can hear we got our natural mic right near the Michigan section for this ball game today. As a 1-2 pitch just misses off the plate away, and now it is 2-2. Try to get that fastball painting on the outside, dial up to 94 miles an hour, did Van Eyck.
Again, we've been talking about this gun in Omaha. Seems a little bit slow, maybe a few ticks slow. So yeah, Van Eyck is definitely bringing the heat today.
2-2 pitch, check swing and fouling it off was Jordan Brewer on a pitch he definitely did not make the swing at, but got a piece of anyway, and he'll stay alive at 2-2.
Yep, he pitched before, he went that fastball low and away, just missed off the plate. Then he started that breaking ball right at the same spot, broke away from that spot. Jordan Brewer checks swings and fouls it off, keeping him alive in this at-bat. 2-2 here. Jordan Brewer is a guy who can do any pitch. He can take it the other way, he can pull it, he can do a lot.
2-2 pitch, he fouls this one back behind the plate again. That's going to get up and out of play. The count's going to remain 2-2, and after 2 at-bats to the ball game that lasted exactly 1 pitch, Jordan Brewer has already seen 7 against Van Eyck in his first time at the dish today.
Yeah, that's a trend we saw against Texas Tech. We saw a lot of batters working counts, fouling away pitches with 2 strikes, staying alive in the at-bat, and Jordan Brewer is doing exactly that here against Van Eyck in his 3rd at-bat.
Another 2-2 pitch on the way. This one is fouled behind the plate, and that's going to get out of play off to the right side as well, just over the Michigan dugout, bouncing on top of the Michigan dugout and away. So we are going to do it again on 2-2 in just a moment.
Yep, that's exactly what you got to dial up here for the Wolverines, and it may pay dividends to what Jesse Franklin just did in that last at-bat. He squares up a ball and drives it to right field. And then Jesse Brewer may have been like a little bit rattled from that last at-bat, fouling off a lot of pitches, working up that pitch count.
Another 2-2 pitch, breaking ball misses low and away, ball 3.
Yeah, great at-bat. Great at-bat here by Jordan Brewer, 3-2. Van Eyck is going to have to groove a fastball. He's thrown a lot of breaking balls in this bat. The last 3 pitches have been breaking balls. I expect a fastball here that Jordan Brewer can do something with.
Jordan Brewer crouching in the right-handed batter's box, 3-2 pitch. Misses low and away, ball 4. Jordan Brewer looks to the dugout, tosses his bat aside, pumping up the Michigan dugout of the Michigan fans. He makes his way down to first base.
Yep, that's an at-bat you like to teach your kids right there. You're down on the count, 1-2. He fouls away pitches, then sees many pitches, gets the walk, sees 3 straight balls. Now, Jordan Brewer, guy, 24 stolen bases on the season, very easily can steal second base here. That great asset that Eric Bakich loves to talk about. I expect to see Jordan Brewer going here on the 1st, 2nd, maybe 3rd pitch.
Jimmy Kerr at the plate, the first baseman for Michigan, the second lefty of the Michigan lineup after Franklin. As a pickoff throw chases Brewer back diving. They're thinking the exact same thing you are as Florida State on defense, as most teams do think about it when they face Michigan. Always very, very aware of that run game.
Yeah, we saw Michael Dallas do it a lot in game 1.
Brewer fakes going. This is a ground ball towards the right side. Feel it over there on a diving play by Smith. He takes it to first base bag himself as he was hit a little bit too softly to go to second. And that's the second out of the inning, 3 unassisted. Brewer does move up to second base.
Yeah, very nice play there by the Seminoles first baseman, Carter Smith. Ball was hit probably 1 step hand side. He dives, keeps the ball in front of him. If that ball gets behind him, Jordan Brewer's probably standing on third base. And smartly, once he got the ball, he just touched first base. They want to force anything over there at second base. Got the out. 2 outs for the Seminoles here. Big out.
The Florida State defensive lineman across the outfield, left to right, Tim Becker, J.C. Flowers rather, and Reese Albert. As coming set is Van Eyck for his first pitch to Blake Nelson. Fastball call, strike one. On the infield, the left side consists of Drew Mendoza at third and Mike Salvatore over at shortstop. The right side of the infield, Nander DeSatis. And the first baseman, as we mentioned, Carter Smith. Behind the plate today is Matthew Nelson for the right-hander Van Eyck.
Yeah, a lot of talent on the left side of the infield for Florida State. Two guys that were drafted in the MLB draft is Salvatore and Mendoza.
Off-speed pitch here for the second strike is taken by Blake Nelson right over the heart of the plate, and it's 0-2 on the Wolverine third baseman.
Yep, 0-2 count here. If you're Van Dyke, you just grooved a breaking ball down the plate, work outside, get a fastball outside, something close to hit, but nothing too close for Blake Nelson.
Blake Nelson was really dialed in the first game of this College World Series, but down 0-2 here, breaking ball, swinging and a miss, and a really great curveball there from Van Eyck. He gets his way out of the inning, but Michigan strikes first here in the top of the first on a long solo home run from Jesse Franklin. We'll head to the bottom of the first to score. Michigan 1, Florida State coming up to bat. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. And a little fun fact for you, that was the 100th home run at this ballpark in the College World Series that was hit right there by Jesse Franklin. We saw a bunch earlier on that got up close to that number, 99, and Jesse Franklin hit number 100 here at TD Ameritrade Park in this event.
Would you look at that? That's got to be some sort of good blessing there for the Wolverines. 100th home run here at this beautiful ballpark, TD Ameritrade.
And
that's a big run, man. We were talking about it earlier. That's a big run here. That's the second straight game that the Wolverines attacked on a run in the top of the first, giving Tommy Henry a little bit of a comfortable, have a little bit of a comfortable approach coming here in the bottom first.
And we talk about this park not really being very conducive to offense. The ball does not fly very well. We've seen a lot of home runs today so far here at TD Ameritrade. The earlier game, Texas Tech and Arkansas had, I believe it was 4 home runs, which tied the record for most home runs in a ball game, in a College World Series ball game here at TD Ameritrade Park. And we saw one from Jesse Franklin right there. Florida State's going to come up to plate here in the bottom of the first, looking to answer Michigan's one run on Jesse Franklin's solo shot. The lineup they send to the plate is as follows. Leading off is the shortstop, Mike Salvatore. Reese Albert, the right fielder, bats second. In the 3-hole is the third baseman, Drew Mendoza. The designated hitter, Robbie Martin, bats cleanup. Batting fifth, playing center field, is J.C. Flowers. Matthew Nelson, the backstop, bats sixth. Batting seventh, playing second base, is Nander DeSatis. Carter Smith, the first baseman, bats eighth. And rounding out the lineup, the left fielder, Tim Becker. They face the junior left-hander from Michigan, Tommy Henry. Tommy Henry, 10-5 in 17 starts, 18 appearances overall, has a 3.54 ERA on the year. Pitched 106 and 2/3 innings, struck out 117 batters, walked just 25, while allowing a batting average against of just a measly .230.
Yeah, last time we saw Tommy Henry, he battled pneumonia there against UCLA in Game 3, and he came out and had the performance of a lifetime. Without him, the Wolverines probably aren't here in the College World Series. I expect to see that clutch gene come again today from Tommy Henry here against Florida State.
A lot of lefties in this Florida State lineup, but not the leadoff hitter, Mike Salvatore, as he takes the first pitch from the left-handed throwing Henry high for a fastball, ball one.
Yes, expect to see Tommy Henry work the early counts a lot. He's a guy who likes to get ahead of the counts. He likes to do a lot of first pitch fastballs. This type of guy, he's got great movement on that fastball. But he's also got that great slider that can work in. Tommy Henry's a guy who can work early and work ahead.
1-0 fastball is on the outside part of the plate for a strike. It's 1-1. Coming into this one, Mike Salvatore, a .337 batting average. Gets on base at a .428 clip. 7 home runs, 51 RBIs for the leadoff hitter for the Seminoles. Henry winds up, 1-1 offering on the way. This one's hit high and deep towards right center field. Ranging over is both Brewer and Franklin. Franklin dives but can't make the play. Brewer fields it behind him. The throw to second is going to be cut off by Caleb Thomas. Mike Salvatore is safe on a double to lead off the ball game for Florida State.
Big leadoff double there for the Florida State Seminoles, but if you look at the Wolverines here, you got to take a lot for granted there because Jordan Brewer had great backup there behind Jesse Franklin. Jesse Franklin reached out and dove for that ball, got behind him, but Jordan Brewer was right there behind Jesse Franklin. Really saved an extra bag there for Mike Salvatore. Keeps him on second base. And yeah, it's a big start there for the Florida State Seminoles.
And they really want to answer that one spot Michigan put up, and they have a great chance here with a leadoff runner on second base. Nobody out for Reese Albert. And since we were just talking about the two outfielders from Michigan, good time to give you that defensive alignment. Across the outfield is Christian Bullock, Jesse Franklin, and Jordan Brewer. That's left to right. Left side of the Michigan infield, Blake Nelson at third, Jack Blomgren at short. Right side is Akeo Thomas the second. Jimmy Kerr at first. Joe Donovan behind the plate for Tommy Henry, whose first pitch is check swing and taken low for ball one.
Yeah, Tommy Henry starts off that bat with looks like a changeup, an 81-mile-per-hour changeup. It's a guy who has got a lot of pitches in his arsenal. He can use all of them. He can use them all very efficiently and effective. But Tommy Henry's a guy who's got to work ahead in the counts early, like he usually does. And so far, so early, he has not done so.
1-0 pitches, some bounces in the dirt. Looking went with the fastball there and just spiked it. The count is now 2-0 on Albert. Albert, the first of 5 lefties in this Florida State lineup against the left-hander Tommy Henry. Strategy that I don't think we necessarily saw coming from Mike Martin coming into this ball game. It's really good breaking ball like Tommy Henry has.
Yeah, Mike Martin, I think he's just coming out with the best lineup he thinks he has. You know, guys who have been good hitters for him all year, that have gotten through a tough regional, gotten through the tough LSU team, that's gotten him here in the College World Series, and got a win against that Razorback team that we saw got eliminated early here today.
2-0 pitch, swinging and a miss, blew the fastball by him to bring the count to 2-1.
Yeah, big pitch here by Tommy Henry, down 2-0 on the count. He knew he had to give a fastball, he had to give a strike, and he delivers a fastball right in that low outside corner, nothing too great to hit there. But it gets him back in this battle here. 2-1 count. Now he threw that fastball. You expect him to use any pitch in his arsenal. I would expect him to get another fastball here, even up the count. But very easy, he might come back with that sharp breaking ball.
2-1 pitch. He does go off speed there on 2-1, but misses low, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, great take there by Albert. The pitch before he threw that low and away fastball. He starts that fastball again, low and away, breaks outside and low. Great take there by Albert and a great at-bat here thus far.
Henry staring in for his sign from Joe Donovan behind the plate. He gets it. Doesn't check the runner over there at second, Salvatore. Now he does. And the 3-1 offering. This is fouled off towards the left side. That one's going to get out of play up into the second deck, it looks like. And it's dropped by a fan and down the lower deck, I believe. Yeah, anyway, the count is full 3-2.
A lot of Seminole red there behind that first base dugout, or third base dugout, excuse me, right where they're sitting at, and a little empty seats, probably the emptiest we've seen this ballpark here so far in the College World Series. Outfield's looking good.
Outfield general admission packed again here in Omaha. Yeah, as you mentioned, grandstand not quite as full. 3-2 pitch on the way. This one's hit in the air towards left field. Christian Bullock comes in, now goes back a few steps near the left field line, makes the grab, and throws towards third to keep Salvatore at second base. Fly out here is the first out in the bottom of the first inning.
Yep, big out there for the Wolverines. It looked a little bit interesting there from Bullock as he took his first couple steps in, and that's always a cardinal sin for an outfielder because you don't want the ball to get behind you. That gets behind him, the runner at second definitely is going to score. But, you know, he collects himself, gets the big out, and throws that sharp ball back into Blomgren there at the cutoff of third base and keeps the runner there at second. Big out for the Wolverines.
The wind is swirling a little bit here at TD and Mayor Trey Park. It was blowing out to right not too long ago. Now it seems to be coming in from center just ever so slightly. Periodic gusts really blowing those flags in center field all over the place. Our lefty steps up. Drew Mendoza, the 3-hitter, the third baseman for Florida State. Lefty, first pitch, swing and a miss. At a fastball. It's 0-1.
You know, you don't like to do it too early. You don't like to walk guys and pitch around guys too early, but Drew Mendoza is clearly the best hitter in the Seminole lineup, batting .313, 16 home runs on the season. Is a third-round pick to the Washington Nationals. So, yeah, you have first base open. You know this guy's got a lot of talent. You don't have to groove him too many pitches. He just gave a great fastball that was high and away that Mendoza swung and missed at. Now you can kind of sort of work around him, fixing some breaking balls, some changeups.
0-1 pitch. Does look like he tries to go off speed and can't quite get it to stick at the knees. The count is 1-1.
Another very close pitch there by Tommy Henry. If he's missing, he's not missing by much. He's at good command of his fastball. His breaking balls are the one thing that's getting him in trouble. But again, they're not missing by much, and most of them have been good takes here by the Florida State batters. So Tommy Henry looking sharp again, and but the Florida State lineup's just looking better.
Certainly looks like they're geared in on Tommy Henry's fastball. They want to make him throw that fastball. I don't think they've swung at anything that hasn't been a fastball thus far. As the 1-1 offering is a pitch that just misses off the plate away. Again, if it didn't miss by much there with the off speed, and now it's 2-1.
Yeah, it looks like he came back with that changeup again for the second straight pitch, and like you said, Austin, that was right there. It didn't seem like Joe Donnie had to move his glove too far away, and it looked pretty good. And we saw some appeals behind the first base dugout here in the Michigan Wolverine fans.
Yeah, you can certainly hear it. As we got our mics are behind the Michigan dugout today, so certainly getting a lot of that Michigan fandom. Can't really hear the Florida State fans over on Natural Life, but a swing and a miss there at a Good slider from Tommy Henry. Evens the count up at 2 apiece.
Nice pitcher. He's gone off speed 3 straight pitches. He's sitting at a full count. You know, Mendoza's or Salvatore, excuse me, is a guy at second base who can very easily score on a base hit here. So you want to keep a fastball going. He throws a fastball high in here to Mendoza. I think that's his best move. Again, we're going 3 straight breaking balls. Great here for Tommy Henry if he can swing and miss here on the fastball.
Looks in for the sign. Now comes set at the belt. Does Tommy Henry. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball just missed off the fadeaway. Joe Donovan liked the location, but it's 3-2.
Again, the 3rd pitch in this at-bat. Either a changeup or a fastball that has looked very, very good. Home plate umpire, I think, is squeezing that outside just a little bit in. I mean, we were talking about earlier in Texas Tech, the home plate umpires in college really love to give that extra half-inch off both sides of the plate. Not happening here today in this game.
Tommy Henry pitching with a 1-0 lead, trying to prevent that tying run from reaching home. He's on second base with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. 3-2 pitch, swinging and a miss, and a great slider there from Tommy Henry. Mendoza comes up empty for Henry's first strikeout of the ballgame, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, very, very nice approach there. A lot of guys, 3-2, like to sit fastball. Mendoza definitely was sitting fastball there, and that 2-2 pitch, that fastball was right there, and delivers that 3-2 slider. Gets Mendoza swinging as a huge out for Tommy Henry, and a great job battling back after that leadoff double.
Slider in the zone is a dangerous pitch, but Tommy Henry pulled it off nearly to perfection right there, putting it right on the outside part.
Yeah.
And getting Mendoza just swing right through it.
Especially get lefty on lefty, that slide piece is going to be very effective today for Tommy Henry, so expect him to use that quite often.
3rd straight lefty in the Michigan State lineup. Robbie Martin comes to the plate. First pitch to him is a fastball that catches the outside corner. It's 0-1.
A great pitch here by Tommy Henry, again trying to work ahead of the count. First pitch fastball. Last time we threw that first pitch slider, so let's see what Tommy Henry comes here on 0-1.
Robbie Martin, a .325 hitter, as just a freshman at Florida State. Designated hitter, gets on base at a .407 clip. Does have a fair amount of strikeout in his game. The 0-1 pitch to him is a ball that just misses low.
Again, Tommy Henry misses. When he misses today, he's not missing by much. Another fastball that was just low and in. Looked like it could have been called a strike by home plate umpire Greg Charles, but it just missed. You were talking about Robbie Martin. Robbie Martin's a guy who's been performing very well in clutch situations. He's batting .405 with runners on and .387 with runners in scoring position. So this guy is capable of getting a big hit with 2 outs to runner on second base.
Henry comes set. Mendoza Salvatore still on second base after leading off the bottom of the inning with a double and a swing and a miss here, a high fastball. I think he might have gotten a piece of it.
Yeah.
Did Martin. I believe it was a changeup to correct myself there. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, the off speed for Tommy Henry really is working well these last 2 batters. Here to Martin and earlier to Mendoza. That slider's been working well, and that changeup's found great location there. And Tommy Henry's really starting to roll here.
They've been calling a lot of change-ups here. I'm just going to call them off speed. Kind of hard to tell from our vantage point here exactly what's the slider, what's the change-up. I believe he's throwing the slider more often than the change-up, and we'll see 1-2 pitch here. He goes off speed, and it clips Donovan's shoulder and gets behind him, so moving up to third is Salvatore. Count's going to be 2-2, with just 90 feet away is the tying run in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, it's one thing Joe Donovan has been struggling at, especially in this tournament and pretty much all season. He's had a tough time getting over on those lefty breaking balls that are going hand side to him. As a catcher, that's one of the hardest things to do, is to get your glove in and around that breaking ball that's tailing away from you. So a tough pitch there for Joe Donovan to block, and moves up the runner, Salvatore, to third base.
So big 2-2 pitch upcoming here. Robbie Martin trying to get Florida State in it.
2 straight breaking balls. Tommy Henry should come here with a fastball.
2-2 pitch. This one's hit a line drive towards left field. Christian Bullock ranges over towards left center. This one has to back up a couple steps and make the grab above his head. A little dicey there, but Bullock makes the grab on the line out to end the first inning. So despite the leadoff double, Florida State does not score. We'll head to the second inning. Michigan leads by a score of 1-0 over the Seminoles. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. We are the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball. Glad to be here at the College World Series in Omaha for covering this team all year long, including the Big Ten tournament right here in Nebraska. We were able to make it back out for this weekend. It's certainly been a great weekend here
Yeah.
at the College World Series.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it playing it off. We talked about it on our podcast. We talked about it in Game 1 against Texas Tech, but you simply can't talk about it enough. I mean, how awesome has Omaha been? We got a chance to walk through some of the apparel tents over there beyond the right field wall, and it's just, man, it's just been excellent. The way this city just livens up and the way this atmosphere just gets better and better. I mean, there's a reason why there's fans from Florida and LSU and Mississippi State, Arkansas, teams who come here every single year, even if they don't make the College World Series. It's just awesome. It's just one of those things that, baseball fans look forward to every year, and I can't blame them.
We got our correspondents at home. Shout out to Alex Drain. But still, man, it is a really tight zone behind the plate. I think we can kind of figure that out from up here, even if we don't have the best view up here on the roof.
It's one of those things where you can see Joe Donovan, even from up here around the first base side, you can see Joe Donovan really sticking those pitches. He's not moving his glove left or right too often, so even from up here, you can tell that these pitches that Tommy Henry are delivering are very, very close. So, yeah, I think Greg Charles is definitely starting to, he's not shrinking the strike zone on Tommy Henry or anything. I'm sure he's going to do for both pitchers. But that's just one thing that Tommy Henry's got to look at. I mean, you can't paint the blacks, you can't paint the corners as well as he usually likes to do. It makes it tough for pitchers to have to leave pitches over the plate.
Yeah, it was almost the exact opposite last weekend at UCLA. The zone was very, very wide, especially on that outside edge, and Michigan pitchers were really able to take advantage of it, especially the three starting pitchers. Yeah,
you hit it exactly on the head right there. Michigan really, really delivered a lot of those outside pitches, and it's almost to the left side of the home plate umpire. I can't recall who it was, but he did it both left-handed batters and right-handed batters, and Wolverines definitely took advantage of it there.
Van Eyck is on the mound, ready to face Christian Bullock to lead things off in the second. Bullock squares to bunt and pulls back, takes a fastball for strike one.
Yes, second straight game for Bullock. In his first at-bat, first pitch, he squares down to bunt and pulls it away. That's something you always got to think about if you're Florida State or really any team facing Bullock. He's a guy who's got a lot of speed and can drop one down anytime.
This one misses inside. Bullock dances out of the way. The count is 1-1 after a fastball split both a ball and a strike each. Bullock really making his presence known in this NCAA postseason, playing left field today. Has a .284 batting average, .388 on base percentage. Takes a pitch on the outside corner for strike two.
Yeah, Florida State defense playing a little bit of a shift here for Christian Bullock. They got second baseman playing a couple of steps, glove side, and then shortstop Salvatore is playing pretty much directly over second base.
1-2 pitch. This one's poked down the left field line, trying to put it down the left field line. It looked like was Christian Bullock, but couldn't keep it fair, so the count's going to remain 1-2.
Yeah, that's always one thing that's stuck in the back of mind of batters who are facing against a shift. They get that outside pitch, they want to take advantage of it. So they can put it right down that line. A guy with Christian Bullock's speed, very easy if they get past third baseman and get there a second.
1-2 pitch, fastball misses inside. Bullock dancing out of the way again, and it's 2-2. And we got a chance to watch the Michigan practice yesterday. It was pretty much just a batting practice for them. And we saw Christian Bullock really focusing on driving the ball the other way. So to your point, really thinking about how he can take advantage of teams just like Florida State here that are shifting against him. 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, fouled at the plate.
Yeah, Christian Bullock was. It's safe to say he was ahead of that pitch.
He was way ahead of that pitch. I'm not sure how he kept the bat in the zone long enough to get a piece of it.
He was. The ball almost dropped straight down in front of him. He was so ahead of it. But yeah, like you said, really in that entire practice, really almost everybody there focused on hitting the ball the other way. Talking about a guy in Van Eyck who's a very good pitcher, can put the spots anywhere he wants. You got to hit the other way for throwing the outside corner.
Bullock taps another one foul near the Michigan on deck circle. Jack Blomgren fields it as he does over at shortstop for Michigan and tosses it to the
Always
dugout.
ready. Jack Blomgren, always ready.
Always ready over there. Count still 2-2 on Christian Bullock. Couple long at-bats for Michigan in this ball game early on. 2-2 again. Fastball inside, ball three.
Yeah, Bullock did it game one. He's doing it game two now. He's done a great job of battling with two strikes, fouling off pitches. Texas Tech, unfortunately, he could not finish those pitches here or finish those at-bats with a victory. Hopefully here he can do it full count.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Strike three on the fastball. Got him with a 93-mile-an-hour heater. And that's the second strikeout of the game for Van Eyck. One out here in the top of the second.
Oddly enough, for Florida State, when the full count came, you kind of figured he was going to deliver a fastball. And shortstop Salvatore went away from his shift and went back to his routine position there at shortstop. Something to kind of think about when full counts come, when they go away from that shift. I'm not sure if that's just a favor of Mike Martin or just kind of a pitch that the infielders understand is probably going to come.
That'll bring up Jack Blomgren, the shortstop for Michigan. First pitch to him, righty, off speed, called, strike one.
Yep, there's that sharp changeup that Van Eyck loves to throw. He throws it there first pitch again, comes with it about 20% of the time. But the pitch for Van Eyck you have to look out for is that very, very sharp, falling off the table 12-6 curveball.
This one is fouled off just off the roof to our left. The count's going to go to 0-2 on Blomgren.
As soon as that ball came off the bat, I saw Falco kind of jump out of his chair a little bit. He's still eager to get that first foul ball in his WCBN tenure.
That's all I'm asking for here. It's been a few years. I just want to grab one. If there's anything on this roof, I already told you, I'm dropping the headset and going to get that ball.
And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I will be having a play-by-play presentation there if Falco leaves his chair.
0-2 pitch. Curveball spiked about 7 feet in front of the plate, and the count is 1-2.
Yep, Van Eyck, coming with that off speed again here, throwing 3 straight off speed pitches here to Jack Blomgren. 1-2 count. It is the perfect time to come with that 92 to 95 mile per hour fastball.
Lined up, 1-2 pitch. He goes off speed again here. Check swing by Blomgren. He did not go around on the ball that missed low. The count is 2-2.
Again, he's still setting up that fastball. 4 straight off speed pitches. You got to think if you're Blomgren, that fastball's coming, and it's coming soon.
Blomgren looked really good in that first game of the College World Series at looking for a fastball and adjusting to off speed. See if he's looking for it here. No, called. Strike 3, fastball in the outside corner, 95 miles an hour. Third strikeout of the game, third strikeout in a row for CJ Van Eyck.
Yep, that's the one thing in the scouting report that everybody saw. Van Eyck loves to come with that high fastball. He delivers it there on 2-2, and boy, that one hit 95. Very easily could have been 96, man. This is the guy who throws heat for the Florida State Seminoles.
Wolverine catcher Joe Donovan steps up now with 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the second inning. Michigan leads Florida State by a score of 1-0. First pitch, Donovan is a fastball. It misses off the plate away. It's 1-0.
Again, coming at 95. Well, this is fortunate for the Wolverines. This is a guy who loves to hit fastballs, Joe Donovan. If you are Van Eyck here on the mound, I think you deliver a lot of off-speed pitches to get Joe Donovan on his front foot.
1-0 pitch, fastball again, and this one catches the zone. It's now 1-1.
Yep, 2 straight fastballs here. You got an 0-2, you're 0-2. We got 1-1 on here. Is it first pitch ball?
1-1.
Okay,
first
1-1.
pitch did miss outside. Now the wind up for a 1-1 offering from Van Eyck. This one is roped up the middle, and the diving try by Salvatore comes up empty. It'll get into center field for a base hit. 2-out single, Joe Donovan.
Yeah, I'm not liking that approach here by Van Eyck, and whoever's calling pitches down there in the Florida State dugout. You got to look at the scouting report that Joe Donovan is a fastball hitter. He got that pitch right there. He delivered it off the middle for a key base knock here for the Wolverines. Donovan really late down the order. I like to deliver a lot of off-speed pitches.
I said that dive by Salvatore came up empty. Not quite, as it did trickle just barely off his glove to get into center field. Either way, it is a single for Donovan. He's on first base with 2 outs for a KO Thomas.
Yeah, great at bat there by Donovan, staying alive, getting a key base knock. See if Thomas can do something here.
First pitch to a KO Thomas, the fastball that misses low. It's 1-0. You hear the fans in the background there, the Michigan fans making some noise. We saw a lot of maize and blue walking around the ballpark before the game today.
Yep.
Van Eyck comes set, 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses high, ball 2.
Yep, it's one thing about this Wolverine faithful that's always showing out. They're always traveling, they're always supporting their team, and the Wolverines have gotten a lot of support throughout this entire tournament, especially in LA when they went down to Jackie Robinson Stadium. There was a lot of Wolverine fans, and they're coming out here in Omaha.
2-0 pitch to Thomas, fastball off the plate away, ball 3. So that zone seems to be pretty consistent for both pitchers. Very tight zone from Greg Charles behind the plate. And a KO Thomas has a 3-0 count. What do you think here? Green light for a KO Thomas with the seemingly the fastball control a little bit off for Van Eyck in a tight strike zone?
Yeah, absolutely give it 3-0 here. You're 2 outs, you can put a shot in the gap, try to maybe score Donovan.
Instead, it is taken for a strike on the outside part of the plate. It's now 3-1. 4 straight fastballs to a KO Thomas. Do you mess around with anything else here for CJ Van Eyck when you're down in the count?
No, you're 3-1 here. You got a high fastball. Thomas is not a guy who's going to hit a fastball, so keep delivering it.
He does throw that fastball. It looked to miss high. The Wolverine fans thought he did. KO Thomas thought it did. He took a step towards the first base bag, but it's called a strike by Greg Charles behind the plate, and it's full 3-2.
Yeah, unfortunate there for KO Thomas. Yeah, he's been delivering that, or he's been calling that tight zone pretty small in there, and he gives a pitch to Van Eyck.
Full count pitch. This one's hit towards the right side, into right field for a base hit. Joe Donovan is going to stop at second and not test the arm of Albert in right field. So 2-out singles here from Donovan and Thomas, with a couple runners on, and back to the top of the Wolverine order in Jordan Wogu.
Yeah, one thing the Wolverines, again, have been doing a great job throughout this entire College World Series, taking advantage of pitches they've gotten and really following off and working on the counts. And Kale Thomas gets an outside pitch, delivers it to the right side of the infield behind Joe Donovan running. Turned out to be a very tough play for DeSantis over there at second base. Huge base hit for O'Kale Thomas, and here comes Jordan Wogu, a guy who's always has the capability to hit the ball in the gap and driving home a couple runs.
Wogu in the very first pitch of the ball game hit a sharp ground ball to third, fielded over there by Drew Mendoza and thrown out. Second pitch he sees today is a breaking ball that misses low. It's 1-0.
Yeah, we had a long conversation there at the open practice session about Jordan Wogu's swing here. This is definitely the perfect situation for him. He loves to go the opposite way. He's got a guy on the mound who's delivering that 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Very easy for him to go the other way.
1-0 pitch, swinging and a miss at a breaking ball. A good sharp breaking ball, really dropped off the table there. The count is 1-1.
Yep, and that's exactly scouting report there for the Florida State Seminoles. They know Jordan Wogu is a good fastball hitter, so they deliver a couple off-speed pitches to him.
You almost like to pitch Jordan Wogu backwards if you're opposing teams. Go
Yeah.
soft early on and then try to blow him away with the fastball high and in. That's really the one thing that the one formula that's been consistent against him. Fastball here, foul right back to the screen, 92 miles an hour on that one, and the count is 1-2.
Yeah, and Wogu kind of has been a guy who's been struggling a lot here in the NCAA tournament. He had that leadoff hit on Saturday. He had that leadoff double against UCLA in Game 2. But besides that, hasn't been the typical Jordan Wogu that we've been capable of seeing. So this is definitely one of those opportunities where you can kind of swing that momentum.
1-2 pitch, breaking ball. This one's grounded towards third again. A little bit softer this time. Mendoza goes to second and gets Akeo Thomas over there as DeSantis was on the bag for out number 3. So Michigan gets a couple 2-out hits, but nothing going on the scoreboard. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Michigan leads Florida State by a score of 1-0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports, and we thank you for tuning in no matter where you are across the country today or perhaps overseas. I know our last broadcast here in Omaha, got a little shout out from Iceland. Listeners over there wanting to follow the Wolverines on what has been nothing short of a fantastic and someone might even say miraculous run.
Yes, and we've had a lot of people come up to us over the course here in Omaha and really have embraced the Michigan story. And this is a game that is full of two phenomenal stories. We got one story here in Florida State and Coach Mike Martin. Obviously, we were talking about it earlier in his 40th season and his last season. Has never won a College World Series. He's had 40 wins in every single one of his years coaching. That's quite incredible to not come out with a national championship. So Florida State arguably is a fan favorite, but we look here at Michigan's story, an up north team, a team that nobody watches in the Big Ten here in the College World Series, and two teams that are in the winner's bracket of the College World Series. I mean, it's been a great job coaching by Eric Bakich and a great job coaching by Mike Martin to get these teams in great positions to win.
Yeah, certainly nothing short of a premier matchup here for two teams that you wouldn't really think of as premier matchups coming into the season, really coming into the tournament as a whole, just because there are some great stories in this tournament altogether. Pretty much every team has some sort of story to tell. You mentioned the tale of these two teams. Earlier on, we saw the Arkansas Razorbacks get bounced by the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Arkansas was trying to redeem themselves for last year's loss in the finals of the College World Series to Oregon State, and were unable to do so. You got a team like Auburn, who really came out of nowhere to win their Super Regional and get back here for the first time in 20 years. Mississippi State hasn't been able to crack through and get a national title despite being really a powerhouse with a new stadium over the last decade or so. Yeah, so
it's a perfect field for the College World Series. Another team we miss here is Vanderbilt, a team who's always in the picture, and again in the picture here in this College World Series.
It's a bunt here by the leadoff hitter in the inning, J.C. Flowers. Tommy Henry fields on the mound and throws to first in time for the out. Trying to catch Michigan sleeping there, but not a great bunt from J.C. Flowers.
J.C. Flowers, a guy who is really the man who does everything for the Florida State Seminoles. J.C. Flowers, a guy who plays center field, had that fantastic catch in Game 1 against Arkansas. And in that same game, actually closed the door as a closing pitcher. For the Florida State Seminoles, has 13 saves on the season. And is also a great hitter at .272 with 13 home runs. Was drafted this year in the 4th round of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so J.C. Flowers is a guy that we'll see a lot from today.
That'll bring up Matthew Nelson, the catcher for Florida State. First pitch to him, lefty-righty matchup with a fastball in the inside corner, strike one.
Yep, great pitcher by Tommy Henry. Again, working early in the count, getting ahead, and hopefully can stay ahead with that sharp fastball right in the low inside corner. Has great command of that fastball so far, not leaving anything over the plate. The only time he did ended up being a double. Besides that, low and away, high and away.
0-1 pitch is hit in the air down the left field line. This one's hooking near the corner, and that's going to get foul and bounce out of play.
Again, not a horrible pitcher by Tommy Henry. Low inside corner that Nelson really just got in front of and drove it out to the left field. Unfortunately, the ball kept tailing into those stands for a foul ball. Tommy Henry up here 0-2, a couple fastballs. He's got that great slider, but I love the 0-2 pitch, giving that fastball away. It's the easiest pitch for all batters to see. So if you can give that fastball away, tempting enough to swing at, but not good enough to drive the ball, if Tommy Henry can throw that fastball here, stay ahead of the count, would be great.
We'll see what they decide to go through here on the 0-2 pitch. Chris Fetter calling the pitches for Michigan down in the dugout. Henry gets a sign, takes a breath with the glove in front of his face, now winds up in the 0-2. Fastball, this one's fouled back behind the plate. The count, it remains no balls and 2 strikes on Nelson, the catcher for Florida State.
A great call there from Chris Fetter. He got that fastball. He threw it away. Perfect enough for Nelson there to swing at, but not great enough for him to drive the ball. He's thrown 3 straight fastballs. 0-2, I'm okay if you break that slider low and in here.
Henry winds up, another 0-2 offering. He does go with that slider low and in. Check swing did not go around, did Nelson. The count's going to move to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yep, that is an absolutely fantastic 0-2 pitcher. Three fastballs. You got Nelson on the brakes. You deliver that slider that you intentionally throw low. So if you miss it, no big deal. 1-2, you can work in another pitch. But that was definitely a pitch that was tempting enough for Nelson to swing as he did check a little bit.
Winding up for another 1-2 offering is Henry, and he throws one low. Look, he went off speed again and couldn't get a chase. The count's going to go to 2 balls and 2 strikes on Nelson. Nelson batting .285 on the season. On base percentage .443, does have a solid eye up there at the plate. Gonna be tough to get a chase from the catcher. Henry looks into his catcher, Donovan, gets the sign, and a 2-2 pitch. This one's hit high in the air on the infield. Jack Blommer now backing up onto the outfield grass. He calls him anyone off, not that he's anybody near him. He makes the grab. Top out for out number 2 here in the bottom of the second.
Yep, that was one of those at-bats that it's a perfect showcase of great pitching there from Tommy Henry. He delivered 2 fastballs that he got ahead of the count 0-2. He delivered a fastball away, tempting enough to swing at where Nelson had to foul off. He breaks that slider away 0-2 again, tempting enough to swing at. Nelson check swings. Throws another breaking ball that bounces low in the plate, and then on that 2-2 pitch, throws a fastball that got Nelson to pop up. Absolute great showcase of pitching there from Tommy Henry.
Nander DeSatis, now the second baseman, steps up, takes the first pitch off speed from Henry, outside for ball 1.
Yeah, and I kind of like how Tommy Henry is approaching this game today. He's throwing a lot of first pitches as fastball. He's throwing a lot of first pitches breaking ball, switching it up well, keeping these batters off look, keeping them off balance. Great job here by Tommy Henry early.
Lefty to righty now is DeSatis rather is a switch hitter, batting from the right side. He watches a breaking ball bounce in the dirt, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes on him. DeSatis, a .238 hitter on the year, .359 in the on-base percentage department. Does have some pop in his bat, 13 extra base hits, including 4 home runs. As he stands, very wide stance in the right-handed batter's box. This one's going to be grounded up the middle. K.O. Thomas backhands behind the second base bag, throws to first in time to get him for out number 3. So Florida State goes down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the second inning. Tommy Henry, a much-needed quick inning there, looking at 30 pitches overall in the day, and Michigan has a 1-0 lead headed into the 3rd inning of Game 6 of the College World Series. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast here on WCBN Sports for Michigan baseball.
Yeah, if you're Michigan baseball, you can't ask for anything more out of Tommy Henry. Again, have great command of that fastball. His breaking ball, his slider's been very, very sharp. And behind him, the defense has been very, very sharp. We talked about that play that ended up being a double. Jesse Franklin dove for it, but Jordan Brewer really saved an extra 90. He got behind, was playing back up there, and got the ball back in the infield, saved a double instead of a triple, and that play for K.O. Thomas. A couple steps hand side, tough play, had to go backhand, but made a very, very sharp throw to Jimmy Kerr over at first base. Wolverines are definitely looking sharp here early on, hoping to tack on a couple more runs here in the top of the 3rd.
Van Eyck will take the mound here in the 3rd inning, already at 43 pitches through 2 innings of play. After the first couple of batters of the game, I thought it might be a quick game for C.J. Van Eyck. First pitch was a Wogu ground out. Second pitch was a home run into right field by Jesse Franklin. And then Jordan Brewer came up and delivered a long at bat. If my count here is correct, I believe it was 10 pitches is what it took for him to work a walk. Another couple quick at bats after that. Kerr was just 1 pitch. Nelson was 3. For that last inning, every Michigan Wolverine saw at least 3 pitches in their plate appearance, including a couple of full counts by Bullock and Thomas. Doing a nice job of perhaps trying to get to that bullpen of Florida State earlier on against arguably the ace of the Florida State pitching staff in C.J. Van Eyck.
And one thing that Mike Martin loves to do, I talked about it pregame, I'll talk about it again. Van Eyck, a guy in his last three starts, have thrown 99 pitches, 104 and 112 pitches. So you knew Mike Martin has the mindset of hoping to bring Van Eyck as far along in this game as possible. Again, 7 1/3, 8 innings, 6 innings. So this is definitely a great start here by the Wolverines to work up that pitch count, take long at-bats, do something with those long at-bats. Yeah, as you know, C.J. Van Eyck is at 43 pitches. You know, you don't want to tack on that pitch count if you have to play again Wednesday. And then if you win that game on Wednesday, Florida State may have to pitch Friday. I know we're early on here. We're talking about wins and losses here in the top of the 3rd inning. But pitch count is always something to think about here in the College World Series.
First pitch to Jesse Franklin. This at-bat is fouled off behind the plate and made a nice grab up there in the second deck. Did a fan. It's 0-1 on Franklin. A little bit different than his start back in the 1st inning.
Austin, I got to ask you a question right there. You saw that play by that fan. Are you taking notes?
My notes are right here in front of me. I already got it written down exactly how I'm about to do this.
I know you're always ready. You're always on the top of your game here. And if the ball comes up and a foul ball comes up, I know you got it.
Jesse Franklin takes a pitch for a strike. It's now 0-2 on him. Winding up, and now an 0-2 offering from Van Eyck is way over the head of the catcher, Nelson, and the home plate umpire, Greg Charles, back to the screen. Counts 1-2 on Franklin. One thing is changing the eye level, and then there's that.
Yes. I think Van Eyck was trying to flex that radar gun. He hit 95 right there, but, yeah, that's not exactly a pitch that I don't think Jesse Franklin would be chasing too often.
Winding up now for a 1-2 offering is Van Eyck, and Franklin fouls right back to the screen. It's now 1-2, and Franklin swung the bat 3 times, seemed to be right on all 3 swings he's taken. Maybe just a case of seeing C.J. Van Eyck well for Franklin.
Especially with that lefty-righty matchup, Jesse Franklin is a guy who loves to see those fastballs in. Those left-handed hitters love lowing in fastballs. So that's the first pitch that Jesse Franklin drove, and Van Eyck, I'm sure, is going to stay away from that location.
1-2 pitch, breaking ball bounces in the dirt. Nice stop back there by Nelson behind the plate. The count is 2-2.
You know, Van Eyck really switching, just like Tommy Henry, switching his pitches a lot. You know, going fastball, going with that 12-6, going with that changeup.
Already 5 pitches in that at-bat for Jesse Franklin. Like I said, the Wolverines really working the counts here over the last inning and now bleeding into this 3rd inning. As this is a tapper near the right side, that's going to be foul. Nice play by Michael Berdar over there, the first base coach from Michigan. He tossed into the dugout, but the count remains 2-2.
Again, you got a little bit of a shift here from the Florida State Seminoles infield. You got Salvatore playing at shortstop, just directly over second base, maybe a step to the right of second base, and we got second baseman DeSadas really playing deep in that hole, a couple steps on the grass in the outfield, so they're definitely playing the shift. I'm curious to see if it comes again. If full count comes again, will Salvatore go back over that normal shortstop position? 2-2
pitch, swing and a miss, and a good changeup it looked like there from Van Eyck. And Franklin goes down on strike. Just the 4th strikeout of the game for C.J. Van Eyck, and there's one out here in the top of the 3rd inning.
No, that's something we always talk about with C.J. Van Eyck. I talked about it earlier. He's a guy who throws a lot. He's a strikeout pitcher. He throws a lot of pitches. He likes to throw that fastball, that breaking ball, and get strikeouts. But when you do that, you really climb up your pitching totals. So, yeah, Van Eyck with 4 strikeouts, but he's already sitting at 50 pitches.
Jordan Burrows started to the plate. He worked a long at-bat, 10 pitches against Van Eyck back in the 1st inning before working a walk. First pitch to him here is on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, Jordan Burr, a guy who you really can. Burr, a guy who can do anything with any pitch, but you got to give him great location, otherwise he can make it hurt.
This one is check swung and ruled a called strike, I believe, by Greg Charles. Ruled that Jordan Burr went around on a ball that bounced in the dirt, and it's 0-2.
Yep, I think Greg Charles appeared to Perry Costello, the first base umpire, and Perry Costello delivered the strike there.
I missed Costello over there.
I do think he was going there.
It's the ground ball up the middle. That's going to get into center field for a base hit. Nice piece of 0-2 hitting from Jordan Brewer. Michigan already has hit number 4 on the ballgame.
Again, Jordan Brewer being very confident with the stick. So far here in the College World Series, he had those 2 shots to left center and right center in Game 1 and Game 2 that gets a big base knock.
That'll bring up Jimmy Kerr, the first baseman for Michigan. Had the biggest hit, arguably, in the first game of this College World Series. A 2 RBI triple into the right field corner. His first triple in 2 years with the Wolverines. Last one came as a sophomore back, I think it was April of that year. It was a long time coming for Jimmy Kerr, but he finally got another one.
Yep. And he did something the Michigan basketball team failed to do. He got that big triple.
He got the triple against Texas Tech. Yeah.
Yeah.
First pitch to him here, misses high and outside. Look at a pitch out perhaps from Florida State, seeing if Jordan Brewer was going to be on the move first pitch. He was not, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, that was a big win for the Wolverines on Saturday. Texas Tech team that came out ready to play today. Both their 3 hitters and 4 hitters were driving the ball today. So Texas Tech still alive in this tournament.
Second pitch to Kerr is a fastball called strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. The count is evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm a Scottsville, Arizona native.
Yep, 31st round selection for the Detroit Tigers.
33rd, I believe.
33rd
round pick.
33rd. Like I said earlier, I said it again. Hopefully, Jimmy Kerr can do something for my
Brewer
Tigers.
moving on the pitch. It's a called strike. The throw goes into center field. Jordan Brewer gets in there safely. Would have been safe either way, even if the throw had been caught by the shortstop Salvatore. So Jordan Brewer strikes base number 25 on the year in 29 attempts. And he's in scoring position. 1-2 count on Jimmy Kerr at the plate.
Yeah, Jordan Brewer getting up a little slow. Has to call time to walk it off a little bit. I think he's got a little dirt in his pants. I think he's fine.
It looks like he's just shaking off his uniform
Yeah.
there. Got to retuck the jersey a bit.
Yeah, Jordan Brewer, a guy who's been dealing with injuries all throughout this. Really, started in the Big Ten tournament, carried over into the regionals. He had that turf toe issue, so it's always something to look for in Jordan Brewer. Hopefully, he's healthy, and it definitely looks like he is. He's taking his lead off right now.
So runner in scoring position. Michigan trying to add some early insurance. They're up 1-0, and a swing and a miss and a breaking ball in the dirt by Jimmy Kerr. Not running over to first base was Kerr, so Nelson will slap the tag on him, and now there's 2 outs.
Yeah, that's that 12-6 breaking ball that loves it, or that 12-6 curveball that loves to break over, fall off the table as Van Dyke delivers it to Jimmy Kerr, and Kerr way out on his front foot gets him swinging. That's a big out there with 1 out with a guy in Jordan Brewer, at second base. He really is going to score on 8 base hit the outfield. Big out there for Van Dyke.
That'll bring up Blake Nelson, who was out in front of a breaking ball in his first at-bat against Van Dyke on an 0-2 count, and was the very first strikeout of the day for Van Dyke. Starts him off with the off-speed pitch here that just misses off the outside part of the plate, and now it's 1-0.
Yeah, Blake Nelson, the guy who kind of found his groove here in Game 1 of the College World Series. He had the absolute drive out to left field that hit the warning track. If he gets a little more launch angle on that, that ball's probably gone. Then he squared away that big base hit that knocked in a big run in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, a couple of hard hit singles in that ball game. I think it was 2 for 3 or 2 for 4 overall.
Yeah, 2 for 3 on the day. Had an absolute fantastic showing. Guy who's been struggling a little bit was seeing the ball well Saturday.
Yeah, Blake Nelson, 2 for 4 officially. Also reached on an error.
Yeah.
In that ball game, an error that gave Michigan an insurance run late in the ball game. This one is tapped foul off near the Florida State dugout, and now it's 1-1.
Speaking of errors, that game last night here in Omaha between Mississippi State and Auburn. Man, oh man, was that an exciting baseball game here, rounding up the first round of the College World Series.
It was certainly exciting and very painful if you're an Auburn fan to watch that one.
Very painful.
1-1 pitch to Blake Nelson, breaking ball, catches the top part of the zone. Nelson doesn't agree, but he's down in the count 1-2.
Yeah, I think a lot of times with umpires, you're trying to work the zone, you're trying to understand and establish your zone early on in the game. Greg Charles there. I think that 12-6, that curveball was a little inside. He's definitely starting to expand that zone to its correct amount, and it's just something that Blake Nelson saw different from his first at-bat.
Coming set is Van Dyke, chance to get out of the inning. 1-2 pitch to Nelson, breaking ball just misses low, maybe off the plate as well. The count's 2-2.
Yeah, great eye there by Blake Nelson. He got a sharp changeup that Van Dyke loves to use. He definitely saw it through the zone, came up low beneath his knees. Absolute great eye by Blake Nelson to work the count 2-2.
Nelson's seen that breaking ball a little bit better than he did in his first at-bat. He's seen it a few times now in this second trip to the plate against Van Dyke. As Van Dyke comes set, checks Brewer on second, 2-2 offering, swing and a miss. I believe it was the changeup as you just called for strike 3. So 3 strikeouts in the inning for Van Dyke. That puts his game total overall at 6. And we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The score, Michigan 1, Florida State 0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. And I know, Andy, we had a chance yesterday to talk to head coach Eric Bakich after that practice we watched. And he asked him a little bit about if his team is feeling a little underappreciated or underlooked here in this College World Series. Take a listen as to what he had to say.
I never even even thought of it like that. We just looked at it as we got hot at the right time, and for a program who hasn't made a postseason run like this in 35 years, we needed to catch lightning in a bottle. We needed that walk-off win in the Big Ten tournament to get hot, and what that has done for our players' confidence has been, it's undescribable. Because even when we slipped and fell and blew a ninth-inning lead in the Corvallis Regional, when we made 5 errors and walked 10 in this Game 2 of the Super Regional, it didn't phase our players' belief and confidence. And so that's been the biggest difference. It felt like at the end of the Big Ten regular season, we were just holding on too tight. We were squeezing it because our expectation was we were supposed to win the Big Ten. And then when it got time to win it, we just played not to lose. And then when we got into the regional, it was just kind of like, screw it, Yeah. We got nothing to lose.
Absolutely.
Might as well play well and be loose and have some fun playing ball. It's the best time of the year because when you're loose and you're having fun, you have the freedom to go out and feel like you're a kid on a playground. And you're not overthinking your mechanics on the jungle gym. You're just swinging. And that's what these guys are doing. And they're having fun and they're getting after it and they're playing hard and they're going to pin their ears back and go fast. And if we make mistakes, we're going to make them going fast. But that's the difference is instead of playing timid, we're playing with the freedom like, hey, we're not afraid to make mistakes.
That was head coach Eric Backus there talking about his team wanting to play aggressive, playing well here in this postseason. Tommy Henry will look to be aggressive here to start things here in the bottom of the third against the 8-9-1 hitters of Florida State, starting off with Carter Smith. Fires the first pitch fastball for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, that was one thing I was very curious to see out of Coach Eric Backus, if he was kind of embracing that underdog role. But that's just not Eric Backus. He's a guy who just wants to play baseball. Focus on baseball, focus on your job, and if you do that, good things are going to happen. And he's done that throughout this entire postseason. It's turned into such a magical run for this Michigan baseball team.
Second pitch to that bat is also a strike. It's now 0-2 on the 8-hitter for Florida State, first baseman Carter Smith.
Yeah, again, Tommy Henry there, working early in the count. Great fastball, set off the count, delivers another changeup that it started off over the plate, but broke right at the knees and stayed in the zone for a strike, too. So Tommy Henry, again, working very efficiently.
0-2 pitch, tried for the fastball in the outside corner, couldn't get the call, and the count's 1-2.
Yeah, fantastic pitch there on 0-2. I thought it was close enough. I was ready for the umpire Charles, to fire that strike 3 call. But again, a great pitch that was low and away, good enough to swing at, but not great enough to make great contact on.
1-2 pitch from Henry. This one popped up near the left side. Blake Nelson is calling it near the third base line. He's right on the fair side of that third base line behind the third base bag when he makes the grab for out number 1.
Yeah, fantastic job by Tommy Henry, man. He is really dialed in so far today. That 0-2 fastball was low and away. He comes up with that changeup and gets the hitter Smith on his front foot. Gets a pop-up over there to Blake Nelson. Phenomenal job of switching pitches. Chris Fetters did a great job of locating Henry's fastball and delivering great signs and great pitch calling here. Great job there by Tommy Henry executing the pitch that Chris Fetters calling.
Henry winds up for the first pitch of the at-bat here to Tim Becker. Becker grounds weakly over to second base. Akeo Thomas fields easily and tosses to first for out number 2. 2 outs quickly here on approximately 5 pitches for Tommy Henry in the third. And we'll go back to the top of the lineup for Mike Salvatore.
Opposite of C.J. Van Eyck, Tommy Henry's working efficiently, keeping that pitch count low. Florida State's swinging early. He's finding the pitches to stay ahead of the count, throwing strikes, and that's what happens. You throw strikes, you let the other team put the ball in play. Your defense behind you's playing great defense. You keep the pitch count low, you stay alive in the game. Great job by Tommy Henry. Great job by the Michigan defense.
Mike Salvatore steps up, takes the first pitch at the knees for strike 1 in his second at-bat of the day against Tommy Henry. Salvatore lined one into right center field in his first at-bat. That was just unable to be reached by Jesse Franklin. Brewer tracked it down behind him but couldn't get it to second in time before Salvatore slid in headfirst with the leadoff double. He was stranded at third base, though, after a wild pitch moved him over. He takes an 0-1 pitch here just off the plate for ball 1.
Yeah, Mike Salvatore had that big double in the first inning. Probably the best overall hitter here, or one of the best overall hitters here in the Florida State Seminoles lineup. Was a 9th round selection to the Seattle Mariners. Batted .340 with 7 home runs on the season. This is a guy that can do a lot of damage with a stick in his hand.
The senior is way ahead of this off-speed offer from Tommy Henry and puts it down the left field line near the tarp over there. The count is 1-2, and a tarp. I know you and I, hopefully, we will not see that tarp tonight.
No. We had a little bit of drizzle early on in the Arkansas-Texas Tech game, but nothing too bad to stop play. Really, we've had great weather all the way throughout this College World Series here in Omaha, Nebraska. And, yeah, I think it's going to hold up today. It's a little cloudy, but we're doing all right.
Tommy Henry winds up 1-2 pitch. Tries to go with a fastball here. It's blooped softly towards the first base line. Jimmy Kerr makes the grab, running over into foul territory for the third out of the inning. Quick hitting for Tommy Henry. Took just 9 pitches to retire Florida State in order. So we're through 3 innings of play here. Michigan leads Florida State by a score of 1-0. You listen to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
Yeah, Tommy Henry there delivered another fantastic pitch. Again, he threw the breaking ball low and away. He got Salvatore to reach out on something, and he delivers a fastball high and in that jams him and reaches out to Jimmy Kerr. Boy, was Jimmy Kerr reacting fast. He got there. The ball was probably about 3 to 4 feet off of first base, and Jimmy Kerr was flying to catch that pop-up. Tommy Henry, through 3 innings, has been very efficient, only sitting at 39 total pitches, has been absolutely fantastic for the Wolverines, and you can tell it's one of those days that Tommy Henry is locked in.
Yeah, I hate to say it this early or jinx anything. This is unlikely to be the case, but Michigan, I mean, with the way Arkansas was able to pitch to Florida State yesterday, they have to be thinking 1 run might be enough here. Definitely not the way you want to approach this game going forward. But with the pitch count they already have going up against C.J. Van Eyck, Florida State starter, he's up to 62, I think, through that inning. Michigan with 4 hits to Florida State's 1. Florida State's leadoff batter got the 1 hit before just popping out right there to end the 3rd inning. I mean, Michigan's it's a 1-0 start, but the lead sure feels larger than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way Tommy Henry is pitching, like you said, that 1 run feels a lot like 3 or 4 runs. Well, unfortunately for baseball, feeling like something is not the case always. As one swing in the back can completely change this game. So the Wolverines coming here in the top of the 4th with Christian Bullock due up to the plate. They're hoping to tack on a couple runs because, as we've seen so many times in this College World Series, we saw it a lot in the Super Regional for Michigan. Insurance runs matter a lot. No matter how great your pitcher is pitching, you need those insurance runs to really build up a confidence, get into your bullpen, them feeling confident. And the Wolverines are looking to do that here on the top of the 4th.
Yep, Michigan was playing defense up 2 runs or more for every single inning, starting with the 3rd of that game versus Texas Tech, who just took down Arkansas, the favorite to win this side of the bracket. They are gone.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch that game, Daniel?
No, I was at work. My boss is an Arkansas alum, so he had to take off for that. Christian Bullock, meanwhile, steps up to the plate, 0 for 5 in Omaha today, and he has struck out 4 times across these past 2 games. As the first pitch down the middle, breaking ball, that's going to be strike 1 against Bullock, who has got that golden sombrero across 2 different games here, striking out 4 consecutive times.
It's unfortunate for him to strike out 4 times, as there's a fastball low and inside a 1-1 count. Unfortunately, he struck out 4 times, but he has not had bad at-bats. He had that 1 at-bat in game 1 where I think he had an 11-pitch at-bat. He was 0-2 count early, and he fouled off like 6 or 7 pitches. So he's had great discipline at the plate.
As Van Eyck skips one off his catcher's chest, that one is low for a 2-1 count. And Van Eyck has had a couple of here that he was fortunate to throw those with none on. Getting a runner on was the name of the game in Saturday's game. So far, though, Michigan has yet to get a runner on, has still put runners on in every single inning, but no leadoff runner. As pitch 3 is way inside, pitch 4 rather, that gives Christian Bullock a 3-1 count and a great opportunity to get on base for the first time here in Omaha since, 3 weeks ago when he was here for the Big Ten tournament and fought his way into the starting lineup with a great Big Ten tournament.
Again here for the 2nd straight at-bat against Christian Bullock, the shift was on, and then the shift went back to normal depth. So I'm not exactly sure what Florida State's seeing. It's the 2nd straight time there's been a shift and the fastball's been delivered the next pitch after the shift was corrected. So it's something weird to look forward to. It's not exactly tipping pitches, as the last pitch was a foul ball. Again, like I said, a fastball. It's something weird to look at for the second straight time against Christian Bullock.
Full count now for Bullock, and takes one high, so he will march on to first for the first time here, getting on base in Omaha, thanks to a ball on a full count. And there you go, Michigan now has a runner on. Florida State, the only team to put their leadoff hitter on. That was a double, and then Tommy Henry was marvelous to get out of that first inning.
Yeah, unfortunately for C.J. Van Eyck, that's not a guy you want to walk here to lead off. A guy, Christian Bullock, who's got lightning speed here with no runners on, 1 runner on, no out. Expect him to be moving with those fast feet.
Yep, as our own Austin Falco gives his little flash impression, mimicking Christian Bullock, who can get to the second base in a hurry. He goes, and this will be a tight one, and he is ruled out. They might take another look at this one.
Yeah, one of those plays, Jack Blomgren on the first pitch was squared around the bunt. He pulls it back. Bullock takes there. It was a low throw there by the catcher Nelson. A tough scoop for Salvatore over there at second base. He scooped the ball, picked his glove up a little bit, and Bullock may have got under it.
Yep, that first angle they showed us won't do us any good. Glove was covered by Bullock, but we'll see here. I mean, Bullock was so confident he never even left the bag.
Yeah.
He stood there like I was unsure if he even knew he was called out with the way he first reacted. And I think he's safe off that look. You think out.
It is very, very, very close.
I do not think this will be overturned. I think. That one makes it look
like,
safe.
It does look like Christian Bullock
Did his hand stay
safe.
on the bag? It did. This is going to be one where he might pay the price for leaving it close.
I think Christian Bullock will be safe. He tags him on the left armpit, which is deep into his arm. It is very, very, very close. It may not be enough to overturn, but from what I've seen, it looked like Christian Bullock may have gotten it. Again, like I said, tagged him on the left armpit. His left hand was the first hand to make contact with second base. It's going to be very, very close, but it may be one of those cases where there's not enough evidence to overturn the call.
Yep, in a world where you don't make a call to begin with, you just review everything right away, I think I would have to rule that safe, but this is going to be a tight one, and I'll understand the ump's decision no matter what they do here.
Yeah, it's one of those case scenarios where I do think he was safe, but I don't think they're going to overturn the call because for me it's almost a 60-40 guess. I think he was safe, but again, that's not enough evidence. Very, very curious to see what second base umpire Billy Hayes and third base umpire Scott Klein is going to decide here in this big, big swing of events here. If Christian Bullock got second base here, huge advantage.
Yep, that'll be a runner in scoring position with none out for the Wolverines. The pitch was a ball, by the way, worth noting, as Blomgren showed bunt. And they rule him out. And the Michigan fans really make themselves heard for the first time since the Jesse Franklin homer.
Yeah.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
It's a very tough pill to swallow. It's one of those calls. It's absolute bang bang. It's a position there for Billy Hayes. You're gonna make one fan base angry. That's a tough call, bang bang. Me personally, it looked like he was safe from up here. Tough call. Maybe not enough evidence to overturn it, but either way, big swing events there for the Florida State Seminoles.
Yep, and as pitch 2 now is going to be down the middle in a strike against Jack Blomgren, who is now 1-1 in the count, struck out in his first at bat. It's worth just mentioning that that's the first time the Michigan fans here got to see Christian Bullock on the bases. I'm sure they were very excited for that, and that's an anticlimactic way for him to go down as pitch 3 is fouled off by Jack Blomgren straight into the dirt and along the third base line for a 1-2 count, and suddenly Michigan getting the leadoff batter on for the first time all game. They are one pitch away from from 2 down with none on.
Yeah, it's one of those scenarios where you have the fastest guy on our team on first base, and I'm okay with setting him first pitch. I mean, they gave a fake bunt. Blomgren pulls it back. Bullock goes to second. Unfortunately, it was out, but I am totally okay with that first pitch then. And
Blomgren tried to get a piece of that one. Swings and a miss. Actually, I believe they ruled tipped ball into the catcher's glove. Either way, he is out. And a nice quick inning here for C.J. Van Eyck, and 1 out away from getting this one done in single-digit pitches. That was pitch number 71. He is way up in that count here in the top of the fourth.
And again, he's working faster. Another strikeout, but again, that's his 7th of the game today. And that's maybe part of the reason why we're seeing that pitch count climb. He's at the top of the fourth, 72 pitches. He had the same scenario in the ACC tournament against North Carolina State, where he threw 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. In that game, he had 99 pitches. So this is definitely something we've seen out of Van Eyck a lot throughout this entire season.
Yep, already up to 7 as pitch number 1 to Joe Donovan. Just barely gets him low for a strike. Joe Donovan, who has been struggling quite a bit recently batting, is 1 for 1 today, leading off the third inning, right, with a single. Pitch number 2 inside. That'll be a ball. 1-1 count for Joe Donovan, the catcher.
Again, Joe Donovan, the guy who was very, 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 very good against UCLA in the Super Regional. He took a couple fastballs, one out of the park, one into the warning track. He was on point, on his swing, looked beautiful, and he had another hit early on today. This is a guy who loves fastballs, and Van Eyck's probably not going to give him a lot here.
Yep, and Joe Donovan's third pitch is in the dirt, so that'll be a 2-1 count now. Batter's count for Joe Donovan, as he maybe tries to get something going and has the opportunity to be the hottest bat on the Wolverines so far today. For a guy who's not had a great great run in Omaha so far as he fouls one away now toward the Florida State bullpen. And a couple Florida State players fighting for that one as it's a 2-2 count now. 2 out, none on. And much credit there to Nelson, the catcher for Florida State, beating the super speedy Christian Bullock to the base.
Yeah.
2-2 count for Donovan, fouls that one off too. Right back to the Florida State bullpen. That's pitch number 77 there for C.J. Van Eyck.
Yeah, great job by Donovan here. He's got a couple breaking balls. Again, we've been talking about that really sharp 12-6 curveball that Van Eyck has been delivering. Donovan, twice the last 2 pitches, has fouled it off, staying in life in this at-bat. When you foul off 2 pitches that are going back-to-back, Van Eyck's delivered that 12-6 back-to-back, he's going to switch his pitch out. And here, I would expect a fastball, something Joe Donovan loves. Maybe he can do something here with it. That's what happens. You foul pitches off, you get the pitch you like, and hopefully Donovan will get one right here.
And he gets one he can make contact with. That's rolling to the shortstop. Should be a routine ground ball. It is. And that will be a modified 1-2-3 inning there for the Florida State Seminoles and their defense.
Yeah, great job by Salvatore there, the shortstop. We talked about earlier, the guy who was selected in the ninth round with Seattle Mariners. He got a short chopper right in front of him, but instead of staying on his back heels, he went, charged the ball, got the play, one step, delivered to the ball, a glove to the hand, threw it to first base. Very, very nice, smooth-looking play there by Mike Salvatore.
All around great infield play right there for the Seminoles. Matthew Nelson, the catcher, being able to make that great throw to beat Christian Bullock. It's hard to beat Christian Bullock anywhere with your arm, but
yeah, exactly. And it wasn't a great throw from Nelson, but it was a great pick by Salvatore and a great tag laid on. But, that's something behind the plate that a lot of catching coaches love to tell you. It doesn't have to be straight on the line. You don't have to make it through the air. When the ball skips off the dirt here, especially in the grass that's well cut, it's going to skip off pretty easily. And one hopper may even be better than a straightaway throw. So great job by both Salvatore and Nelson there to get Bullock out on first. It turned out to be a huge, huge out and a huge swing of momentum for Florida State, looking to capitalize on that and tie this ball game up here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yep, they're going to get their chance now against Tommy Henry, who has been marvelous today. Surrendered a double to the very first batter of the game, and since then has just been locked down.
Yeah. Well, this is, if Tommy Henry wants to prove he's in prime form here, he's going to do it against the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Albert, Mendoza, and Martin, against this tough Florida State lineup team who is playing its best baseball all year.
Absolutely, as can be said for both teams. The 2-3 seeds here, look like for a second there we're going to see all 3 non-nationally seeded teams win in the first day, but then blew a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the 9th. I mean, if you didn't catch that one,
that was a classic. That was one of those games where it looked like Auburn was playing the best game of anybody here in the College World Series, but unfortunately things just kind of unraveled for them. Their third baseman committed a very, very unfortunate error at first and second, 2 outs. The runner from second base traveling to third base really went right in front of him. He could have tagged him, elected not to, threw it over the first base, went over his head for the time run allowed to be crossed at home plate. Tough game for Auburn. Hopefully they can bounce back tomorrow.
As Tommy Henry's first pitch of the inning is fouled away into the stands, so that will be an 0-1 count for Reese Albert, who flew out to left field in his first at bat. That was a pretty good move. Well, the wind here is pretty twisty-turvy. Good composure there from Christian Bullock to catch that one an inning ago. Pitch number 2 is a little bit high and outside, so there'll be a 1-1 count in here for Reese Albert.
Again, a couple breaking balls that Tommy Henry has delivered here early in the count. He's sitting at a 1-1 count right now. Expect that fastball to come soon. I like what he's been doing in his fastball today. He's had great command of it. He can put it on a corner here. That'll be big.
And he gets one into the stands by where it seems to be the Michigan congregation. There's not really official seating areas. The Florida State has really well organized themselves out in sections 116, 117. That's a 1-2 count for Reese Albert. He's a 297 hitter.
Again, another breaking ball that Tommy Henry delivered. He's really got that fastball set up perfectly right now. 1-2 count, 3 straight breaking balls. Delivered that fiery fastball here high and in. That's what I like. That's what I would call if I was Chris Fetter.
And that one's high, but that's just about all that was, as Joe Donovan has to extend a little bit to get that one.
Again, they had that perfectly set up. They threw a high and away fastball at 1-2. Tommy Henry didn't execute, a little away, but again, right thinking, right approach here by Chris Fetter and Tommy Henry.
Yep, so even count now, 2-2 for Tommy Henry, only up to 43 pitches so far on the day. And that'll help him get it done soon. Swing and a miss for Reese Albert. That's pitch number 44 for Tommy Henry, and it was a beauty. That's his second strikeout of the game.
Yeah, I love the approach there again. They threw those 3 straight breaking balls. 0-2 that got to the count, breaking ball, 0-2 curveball, excuse me, 0-2 slider that got fouled off, and then they throw a fastball high and away, and then they throw another fastball on the 1-2 count that got Albert swinging. Big strikeout there by Tommy Henry. Just been super efficient all day with his pitches. Hasn't wasted a pitch. He's been pretty good at executing most of his pitches. Great job by Tommy Henry. Great job by his Wolverine staff of delivering and calling the right pitches.
As pitch number 1 that is driven into the outfield, Franklin and speeding for it. Looks like it's going to be Bullock getting there in left field to catch that one, and down goes Drew Mendoza in one pitch. We saw back against Reese Albert, that was Tommy Henry's second strikeout of the day. Number 1 came against Mendoza a couple innings ago, and that's a 1-pitch out right there for Tommy Henry, looking to get off to another efficient inning, and maybe a bit early to be talking about if a complete game or anything, but he's looking ready to go 7 or 8 innings deep.
Yeah, 45 pitches through 3 2/3. Been so fantastic for you. Only sitting at 45 pitches. You know, it's something to think about. You want to attack the next batter always, but it's definitely a good position here the Wolverines are in. Only 45 pitches through Tommy Henry.
Robbie Martin now up to the bat, and he drives one out toward Christian Bullock, who hasn't moved yet, now comes forward and gets that one in midair, taking a bit of a leap in celebration almost, as that's out number 3, and that's two pitches for 2 batters to end the inning.
What a great job by Tommy Henry here. 2 pitches, 2 outs, the last 2 batters of the inning. 46 pitches only for Tommy Henry. Only has surrendered 1 hit today, and it was that double that Jesse Franklin was inches away from catching. Tommy Henry is dialed in. The Wolverines are playing well. The defense behind them has been fantastic. Tommy Henry looking great for the Wolverines. But again, 1 run, anything can happen in baseball. We've seen plenty of examples in that College World Series so far this year. Michigan's got to tack on another couple runs here to break this thing wide open.
Yep, 1 run is never enough to feel comfortable with, even if you have a pitcher pitching as well as Tommy Henry. I really like the way he approached this game. Got all the no-hitter talk out of the way right away on the first batter. Surrenders the double, and now he can just, clear mind.
Just kind of kick back and relax a little bit.
Do his thing, and he's off to a good start right now.
And that has a lot to say about what Jesse Franklin did in the first inning or the second pitch of the game from Van Dyke. He took that fastball, drove it out of the park, got another run for the second straight game for the Wolverines. Got a run at the top of the first. It allowed Tommy Henry to get into his rhythm early, knowing he's got a 1-0 lead. He can go out there and pitch. He can be himself. He can be the great Tommy Henry that was in the Super Regional, the great Tommy Henry that was in the Regional. This is the guy who's rolling really at the right time of the season, and it's beautiful look there for Eric Bakich and the Wolverines to see Tommy Henry do so great so early.
Yep, and the Wolverines now really hunting for that insurance run to give Tommy Henry even more confidence. Well, good news for them. They've got a K.O. Thomas, Jordan Mogu, and the home run hitter Jesse Franklin due up in this inning. Now, that's a really nice lineup to have going into an inning. However, Florida State has surrendered 1 run in 13 innings of baseball. It took them 10 runs to give up their first, but what could have been their 29th out recorded without giving up a run was instead a home run ball from Jesse Franklin.
Yeah. You hit it right in the head there. It's been 2 examples of great pitching so far for Florida State. Drew Parrish in Game 1 went 8 innings against a Razorback offense that is fantastic. Number 5 team in the country, 5 seed, did not deliver a run at all in that game.
First pitch to K.O. Thomas is inside for a 1-0 count as the 1-for-1 batter on the day, and senior K.O. Thomas, who's been a part of this team forever. I mean, he's one of those guys who it feels like they've been in Ann Arbor for 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah, he's the Perry Ellis of Michigan baseball.
Absolutely. Checks his swing. It'll be a strike either way. 1-1 count for K.O. Thomas.
Yeah, the wind is definitely starting to pick up here at TD Ameritrade. It's blowing from left field to right field, so not really in any big effect for the hitters, but for the outfield, that's definitely something to look at. And especially if you're a right-handed hitter down the right field line where it tends to fade away from the right fielder, it's definitely going to be hard to pick up that wind.
Pitch number 3 is low for a 2-1 count now for K.O. Thomas. Keep staying ahead in this one. And Michigan, they keep getting batters on. They've recorded 4 hits already in this one to Florida State's 1, but they haven't done much with that since. So K.O. Thomas looking to buck the trend. Pitch number 3, a bit outside, 4 rather, and it's a 3-1 count for a K.O. Thomas.
If you're Van Eyck, you're sitting at 78 pitches prior to this at bat. He's at 82 now. You got to throw strikes. You got to get an early count. You got to keep that pitch count at a relative stance where you can stay longer in this game. And he's not doing it at this at bat. As
K.O. Thomas flies one toward our press box, not going to have enough air under it though. as that lands in the first row, about 10 rows up. And one fan is waving his arms around, happy to catch that one, although kind of got it off the back of his seat. So didn't really make the play there, but it's a full count for Akeo Thomas nonetheless, as the wind is really picking
Yeah,
up.
it's really starting to pick up here in TD Ameritrade.
Yeah, blowing toward right field, right into our faces.
Yeah, 83 pitches in here for Van Eyck. We're starting to see Florida State bullpen, to see a couple of guys get up there and stretching, so this may be the inning with the 9 at top of the lineup, see if he might come out.
And Akeo Thomas fouls one back into section 210, right next to the section that Carol Hutchins was waiting in in Saturday's game. So Akeo Thomas really just adding to CJ Van Eyck's plate here, now having thrown 84 pitches and still only through 4 innings.
Yeah, and you're speaking of Carol Hutchinson, Ward Manuel still here for the second straight game. You know, a guy who just had that big men's basketball search where he got, Juwan Howard, the Michigan man, as it looks like there's a balloon or something out in center field. We got a little bit of a stoppage of time here as someone from the Michigan bullpen is trugging along the warning track to grab that balloon.
Yeah, that's a great tradition here in TD Ameritrade Park. Every single year, if you go, that's the way to do it, really, in my mind. The general admission tickets. Just hang out, hit some beach balls during the game. You're probably going to be able to hit one. There's so many of them out there. Not sure what that was. Could have been a cup almost.
No, it looked
kind of flat.
Yeah, it was green. All in all, it was green.
Green, yeah.
And Austin Falco here right next to us is doing the wave, so he's still locked in this baseball game.
And Akeo Thomas fouls another one right back, so it's now pitch number 85 and counting for CJ Van Eyck.
It's been a very big trend of the Wolverines throughout here in the College World Series. They're really building up the pitch counts by having great long at-bats, and we're seeing another one here from Akeo Thomas.
And maybe now he'll force Van Eyck to throw one at Thomas, who really wants a piece of. That one is, no, it's going to be a strikeout. That's the second time now we've seen Thomas walk toward first on what he thought was ball 4. That one looked low, but that's a strikeout nonetheless. Called it, so.
Yeah, it definitely looked like home plate umpire Greg Charles kind of gave Van Eyck the benefit of the doubt there. It was a fastball low and away, borderline strike. He wards a strikeout to Van Eyck there, big strikeout there, but again, another one of those instances where Akeo Thomas thought he had to walk and unfortunately wasn't granted it.
So Akeo Thomas goes down looking, and Jordan Wogu now steps up to the bat, and that one is definitely low as that gets in maybe an inch above the home plate. But Wogu 0 for 2. He started off Saturday's action representing the first run of this College World Series. Not been batting his best in Omaha, but just a fearsome hitter, and that one is a strike as well. That one also might have been a bit low, but 1-1 count now as that's 3 consecutive balls pitched very low there from CJ Van Eyck.
Yep, he is starting to get a little more command of his fastball. He's 1-1 count here, sticking at 88 pitches. Yep, starting to build up.
As Wogu fouls that one back, and the wave has now entered slow motion as it's in the outfield right now. Going maybe half a mile per hour right now around the outfield and the outside concourse there.
Yeah, it's so slow, I don't even know where it's at.
Just turning around
the
left
I see
field
it. There
line.
it is. Coming down the third
1-2 count for Wogu. Bats at one, string to the ground, and hops toward the Florida State dugout for remaining on a 1-2 count, as that was pitch number 90 for CJ Van Eyck, and we are only in the 4th inning, top of the 5th inning.
Again, Michigan Wolverines doing a great job of fouling away pitches with 2 strikes, staying alive in the at-bat, and giving themselves great opportunities to find pitches that they like and drive. And Jordan Wogu, a guy who hasn't done that much so far here in the College World Series, really in the entire NCAA tournament, could give himself a chance here to drive the ball out of the park.
Wogu calls time for a second. Something he didn't like, had to reset right there, but he looks ready to go now. 1-2 count, looking to make his mark here in Omaha. And drives one into the outfield. That should be a single out to right field. Wogu gets on with 1 out now, as the Wolverines now have the Jesse Franklin, and if he cannot ground into a double play, that will result in the Big Ten Player of the Year, Jordan Brewer, due up next. This is a really bad spot of the Michigan lineup to give up the hit to.
Especially a guy like Jordan Wogu, who's sitting at 16 stolen bases on the season, and they're putting a shift on him, so it's definitely an unnatural movement for shortstop Mike Salvatore to come over and swipe a tag right down. He's coming at an angle where he's directly behind behind second base. Tough here. Jordan Wogu, great chance for him, maybe steal base. First pitch, maybe the second pitch.
And they quickly keep Jordan Wogu honest at first, pitching back toward first, before they get 1 out toward Jesse Franklin, as the wave has now entered fast forward mode.
Quick! Rolling it quick here.
got around the bases in about 10 seconds, and they pitch back to Wogu again. So still no pitches yet as C.J. Van Eyck, he might want to be conserving his arm. They just knocked his total back down to 0 on the TD Ameritrade scoreboard here.
There must be a new C.J. Van Eyck coming out on the field because this guy's got no pitches.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the
but
wave.
still 8 strikeouts.
I think the wave blew away the old C.J. Van Eyck.
I think you're right, as Jesse Franklin takes pitch 1 looking for a strike. He's experienced, it's really the modern-day MLB game right now. The lows and highs of baseball, starting off with the home run, then striking out in his second appearance. That's the home run hitter's life. That's the one he lives.
And C.J. Van Eyck threw 92 pitches in the same at-bat. Back to 92.
And now throws back to Wogu again. They are really cautious here. They know Eric Bakic is aggressive with his base running, and this is one of the first times this postseason it didn't pay off as Christian Bullock gets caught.
Yeah, and we saw it from Micah Dallas, the Texas Tech starter in Game 1, and now we're seeing from C.J. Van Eyck. They're paying a lot of attention to the base runners of the Wolverines. And again, right here.
Back to Wogu again. He's thrown back to first base 4 times now, and only 1 pitch toward home. Now, well, if you keep doing that, you're gonna either get lucky once and catch him, as Wogu now calls time for the second time this inning.
I think the tag from first baseman Smith came down on Wogu's elbow, so something a little sore there. Wogu calls time and gets back on first base. Nothing too serious there from the Michigan leadoff hitter, NCAA Jordan Wogu.
So we'll see. Are they going to keep Wogu honest again, or are they going to throw to Jesse Franklin? Your guess is as good as mine. C.J. Van Eyck pitches high to Jesse Franklin, 1-1 count.
It's so funny to see almost every pitch or every other pitch, Michigan base runners always fake stealing. We saw a catcher there, Nelson, gave a direct look right there to Wogu after the pitch. He thought Wogu was going. It's just something that's always dialed up with Bakic. He loves to be aggressive with the base runners, and they've been aggressive so far here.
And that one is low and inside as Matthew Nelson has to quickly react to that one to avoid a passed ball. 2-1 count now.
We're starting to see C.J. Van Eyck work a little bit faster there. Wogu wasn't even off the base as Van Eyck came set and delivered the pitch, as Wogu now has properly timed his leadoff.
Yep. Van Eyck has been going slowly here, trying to speed things up and prevent as Wogu fakes going, and Jesse Franklin fouls one back off the press box wall and right into the hands of a young fan. Stunned a little bit, but ends up recovering the ball off the stairs.
Purple shirt here. I like the purple shirt. Maybe he's from TCU, Texas Christian University, but I'm digging the purple.
At school frequently here in Omaha
yeah,
at the
I
College
saw a
World
couple
Series.
There yesterday. Again, I love the tradition of these schools that are not in the tournament still coming. Nebraska, Florida, LSU, TCU.
Throw back to Wogu at first again, to no avail once again. And, I mean, TCU didn't even make the Field of 64 NCAA tournament, so their fans really dedicated. They had no reasons to think they were going to be here in Omaha.
Either dedicated or Omaha is just that awesome.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit of both.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Especially you as a fellow Nebraskan on this broadcast, I think you can account to the fact that Omaha's pretty cool.
I'll testify to that as pitch number 5 now is high to Jesse Franklin. Full count for the home run hitter. Also 1 strike away now from the strikeout, which he recorded in the 3rd. We'll see what the 5th inning has in store for Franklin now with the man on.
Again, another full count being reached here for the Wolverines hitting lineup. It's part of the reason why C.J. Van Eyck has climbed that pitch total now to 96. The Wolverines doing a great job of working the count full.
As Wogu goes on a foul ball, he'll have to trot back to first base. And that one was fouled way back up here. There's a little bit of commotion in the crowd. I didn't quite see what happened because I was focusing on Wogu.
It was a line drive that were pretty much right behind home plate. And I think it knocked off a camera or something as something came flying down to the first level fans. But nothing seems to be going on too seriously as we're back here in baseball. C.J. Van Eyck, 97th pitch is going to deliver his 98th here. Full count, Wogu definitely will be running here.
And those pitch backs to Wogu now, that's got to be taking a toll on his tired arm now too. I mean,
a toll physically, but also a toll mentally. You're always focusing on that runner. You don't have all the focus concentrated on Jesse Franklin, a guy who made him pay in the first inning. That's something that Eric Bakic always has rolling. Full count, 1 out. I do definitely expect Wogu to be going.
As Franklin fouls another one back, as Wogu gets another good leadoff. Another one fouled right back as Jesse Franklin has really extended this at bat. It's going to be pitch number 99 coming up for Van Eyck.
Yeah, Wogu, I love the philosophy, full count, 1 out. No, full count, 1 out, no outs. A guy like Jordan Wogu can steal a base regardless of the pitch. Even if it's a strikeout, I expect Wogu to steal second base. He's a very good base runner, but if he walks, obviously he just gets a base there. He's granted because another walker behind him, or another runner behind him.
Yep, and Jordan Brewer's a guy who can get you a single really anytime he needs to. would be a great opportunity to get a runner in scoring position and drive a man home. The real story of this Michigan run has been runners in scoring position. Michigan batting really well while their opponents not so much so far this tournament. Right now, both teams are 0 for 3 with the runner in scoring position.
Yeah, huge gap here for Franklin here as middle infield for Florida State is playing a double play depth, but first baseman Smith is covering first base, holding on Wogu.
And that one is driven into the outfield. Wogu is going to turn towards third base, and no need to even throw that pitch. Wogu slides in just for the fun of it, loses his helmet, but Michigan has runners on the corners with 2 out for the Big Ten Player of the Year. And you know what? Big Ten, not a traditional power in college baseball, but the Big Ten has the best record of any conference since the Super Regionals began.
Yeah. I mean, right there on the last at bat, exactly what I said prior to the pitch. There was a huge gap in between first base and second base. Second baseman Desadas was playing a double play depth, so he was playing close to shortstop, and then first baseman Smith was holding on Wogu at first base. So there was a pretty large gap between first and second, and Franklin drives the ball right in that gap. And a great job by Wogu clearing around second base, getting around third base, where he was safe at third. And it looks like Wogu seems to be a little uncomfortable as the trainer is coming out to see Jordan Wogu. Not exactly sure what happened. Maybe it could be from that tag that Smith laid down on Wogu over at first base on one of those 5 pitches that Van Eyck threw over to first base.
And that's a really scary scene for the Wolverines. I mean, it would be just, I can't even begin to describe how big of a loss Jordan Wogu would be for them. The designated hitter, so you would not lose any defense.
It looks like the trainer is putting some sort of something on Jordan Wogu's face. Maybe he cut up on his forehead. Looked like he may have cut something open up on his forehead. So, I mean, a forehead's obviously a lot safer than an actual joint injury or a muscle injury. Injury.
Yeah, maybe something Wogu won't be too happy with.
It looks like everything's okay. So Wogu's going back to third base. The trainer and head coach Eric Package are running off the field.
So that's going to put runners on the corners, and Michigan can get that coveted insurance run here with a swing of a bat from the Big Ten Player of the Year, 3rd-round pick Jordan Brewer.
Yeah, I've been the guy who's been nailing the nail on the coffin all the time. First and third, 1 out. I love to hit and run here. I love to hit and run, get Jesse Franklin moving. If Jordan Brewer misses, Franklin's a guy very capable of stealing that base regardless. But also, you're eliminating, not necessarily eliminating, but you're extremely decreasing the odds of rolling a double play ball here. So I love it on the first pitch, especially if it's a ball 1-0. I wouldn't expect, but I would be calling a hit and run on. Because you got to stay away from that double play. You have a guy in Jordan Wogu who's very fast. So if you get second or third, 1 out, very, very much so, you can see that run being knocked in by Jordan Brewer. But to be, sort of the opposite of my view, Jordan Brewer is a guy who is very good and has been very good all year, great hitter. You might want to let him just swing. So I'm very curious to see what head coach Ed Backage is going to do here.
So Jordan Brewer returns to the field as they have the mound meeting here for C.J. Van Eyck, who's still in the game. And, a wild pitch is, very much in play right now when you have a guy throwing pitch number 100 right here to the Big Ten Player of the Year, who has walked and singled in this game. So he's 1 for 1. On base, 2 for 2. As that one is high for a 1-0 count here for Jordan Brewer.
It was very cool. Earlier before the game, Austin Falcon and I were walking through all the tents here in Omaha, and Jordan Brewer during the Arkansas-Texas Tech game was also walking around, kind of enjoying the scene around here in Omaha. Very cool for a guy to go out, talking to people, have fun, relaxing. I love that out of your star player.
And that one is a strike right down the middle for pitch number 101 from C.J. Van Eyck, and that's cool that you get to meet your classmate there, Jordan Brewer,
and Jordan
enjoying the scene.
As there's a little communication between home plate umpire and the second base umpire, Charles Hayes. It's very cool to see Jordan Brewer kind of doing his own thing, enjoying the things he does, as he's a fantastic baseball player and is very well liked here in Ann Arbor.
That one is low, and a good move there from Matthew Nelson to prevent a passed ball and maybe Jordan Wogu from advancing home off the potential wild pitch. 2-1 count now for Brewer, a .339 hitter.
Yeah, Van Eyck up at 102 pitches so far in this game, and there's a little bit of action, lefty and a righty warming up in Florida State's bullpen.
Jordan Brewer fouls one away toward his third base coach to now a 2-2 count. This would be a really painful time to strike out.
Yeah, right here, right now is just where I would like to hit and run here. 2 strikes, you're probably going to have to, 2 strikes, you're probably going to have to go with fastball. Jesse Franklin is very much so capable of getting a stolen base here, but also you limit the chances of a double play.
And we'll see what Brewer has in store here. The Big Ten Player of the Year can tear this one open, and it's a swing and a miss. Down goes Brewer, and that's going to be a big letdown and a big sigh of relief from the Florida State fans here. As Jimmy now they have to face Jimmy Kerr, so not a huge reward, but 2 out, the sack flies out of play.
Yep.
Jimmy Kerr is going to have to make good contact here to drive in an insurance run for the Wolverines. He had a triple in the top of the third against
It's probably
Texas
a good
Tech.
thing. It's probably a good thing Backus didn't have Franklin rolling there, because that was a fastball delivered by Van Eyck, hit 95, and catcher Nelson was up out of his stance quickly. Probably had a good chance of getting Franklin on, strike him out, throw him out. So probably a good thing hit and run was not called there. But Jimmy Kerr up to the plate looking to capitalize like he did too Saturday night.
Pitch number 1 is going to be a strike, as C.J. Van Eyck is now up to 9 strikeouts on the game. It's a pretty good result for 105 pitches already. He might not go a long game, but he's gotten 105 pitches in and retired 9 batters through a strikeout. He's up to number 106 now, facing Jimmy Kerr with an 0-1 count. Runners at the corners. Jesse Franklin goes as Jimmy Kerr hits one into the outfield. That'll bring in an RBI. Jesse Franklin turns the corner toward third, and he's going to hold up, sliding into third as well, completely unnecessarily, as Michigan now takes a 2-0 lead, and they're back in business the way they were basically the entire Texas Tech game, up 2 runs.
For the second straight game, baby, Jimmy Kerr with 2 outs delivers a huge 2-out RBI single to shred this lead to a 2-0 lead for the Michigan Wolverines. Again, clutch hitting by Jimmy Kerr, and that's been really the story of this entire season, and especially this tournament run for Michigan baseball. Clutch pitching and clutch hitting, and Jimmy Kerr has been the exact guy that's been doing that all season long, and again, delivers another clutch hit. 2 outs, RBI single. The Wolverines are up 2-0.
And another mound meeting for C.J. Van Eyck. There is action in the bullpen. I think I see a pitcher starting to approach the outfield. Looks like his day is done, as the Hail to the Victors is pumped in through the mics here as the Michigan fans go wild. I think they are outnumbering the Florida State fans, but a really good showing here from Florida State fans for Mike Martin's retirement party. Their baseball coach in his 40th season. He's been around since the Reagan administration. He's been around for, Carter even. Yeah, he's been around since the Jimmy Carter administration. He's been around for 7 presidencies, 40 seasons, won 40 games in every single one of them, and made the NCAA tournament every single one. The only thing he hasn't done in his career, win the College World Series. 0 for 16 trips. This is number 17. Off to a good start, but he's down 2-0 here, just about halfway through this one.
Yeah, Mike Martin, we were talking about it pregame. He's the winningest coach of all time. He's an absolute legend. Florida State's already named their ballpark after this guy. 40-plus wins in every single season of his career.
And that doesn't make any sense
That's
to me.
unbelievable. He hasn't had a bad season at all in his entire tenure at Florida State.
Part of the way you do that is make the tournament every single year, then you can get a couple more wins. But I mean, to make the tournament every year, not one bad year ever. I mean, Nick Saban went 6-7 in his first year at Alabama. People forget that.
It's remarkable, and it's no matter how this ends for Mike Martin, or really, whether it's a championship, whether they're done on Wednesday, it does not matter. Mike Martin will go down as the greatest, if not one of the best coaches of all time.
No coach has really ever had a run like that. Chase Haney, who is, fun fact, a pinch hitter and 2 for 2 on the season, batting 1,000, Florida State's batting average leader, steps into the mound now in relief for C.J. Van Eyck, who retired 8 batters through strikeouts. Nonetheless, leaves through 4 2/3 innings. Chase Haney on the year. Haney is a right-handed pitcher, 2 for 2, 30 innings pitched. He will come in for release a bit earlier than he was planning, 4 2/3 in. As Mike Martin sends in his reliever pretty early in this one. But Mike Martin, he's seen a thing or two. I'm sure he's seen worse.
Yeah. And
you don't win 40 games a season without having a remedy or two for a tight situation. Down 2-0. They've not had much offense at all this week. Yeah. Only 1 run so far through 13 innings. So
yeah, Chase Haney, a guy they're bringing in, 2.73 ERA at a 1.0 WHIP. He's got a very, very good 2.26 226 opponent batting average of runners in scoring position of 119 with 2 outs. The guy who's been very good. 2-2 on the season, 33 innings pitched, 10 earned runs, 32 strikeouts compared to his 10 walks. So there's definitely a guy who could do a lot of damage here for the Florida State Seminoles and get Michigan out of this jam, or excuse me, get Florida State out of this jam.
We mentioned that both teams were 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Not anymore. Michigan is now 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
A chance to make it 2 for 6 maybe as Jack Blomgren comes up to the bat. Blake Nelson rather. Swing and a miss, and Jimmy Kerr just walks to second base. Now 2 runners in scoring position, so Kerr with 1 solid contact to the outfield can make this a 4-run game. Nelson, I finally get the name right. Blake Nelson down 0-1 in this count, though, but Jimmy Kerr with no one on second base, as you mentioned, just walks, kind of looking around. Am I really just getting a free pass here? Yes, he is. 0-1 count, pitches low. 1-1 count here for Blake Nelson.
Again, there were 2 outs in that situation. You know, both Salvador and DeSantis weren't even covering, or Salvatore, excuse me, and DeSantis weren't even covering second base. So it's one of those things, free pass, 2 outs. You smart folks on the batter.
1-1 count. That one is out low and outside for a 2-1 now for Blake Nelson, who's batting 300 on the year evenly. So kind of a big one for him here, not only because there's 2 runners in scoring position in the College World Series, but can he stay a 300 hitter on this at bat?
Yeah, and I mean, exactly. Blake Nelson's a guy who squared up the ball very, very well Saturday. And, you know, so far today, he struck out 3 times and had that fly out. So hopefully he can pick it up here in this at-bat.
Foul's low, so it'll be a 2-2 count for Blake Nelson, who is 0 for 2. Started the NCAA tournament just in the 300 and something range.
Yeah.
Slowly crawled down to 300 here, but he was one of the had that what ended up being the game-winning RBI in the 3rd inning. And he makes contact here, but that one is a fly ball. A little bit of confusion between the second baseman and the outfielder. Center field catches it, though, to end the inning, minimizing the damage to just 1. Blake Nelson flies out to the center fielder, shallow center field to end the inning, but Michigan gets that coveted second run. And with the way that Tommy Henry's been pitching, with how long the inning went, how he got to rest his arm a little bit more, you got to feel pretty good about that as a Michigan fan. Maybe wished that, if you're a Michigan fan listening, that they could have done a bit more damage right there, but 2-0. That's basically where Michigan's been operating this whole tournament long.
Yeah, you're right. All 3 games against UCLA, they had 2-0 lead, and with the way Tommy Henry's pitching, like you said earlier, the way Tommy Henry's pitching, that extra run feels a lot more. I mean, 200 to Tommy Henry, right now he's sitting at 46 pitches. You know, he's been rolling, only giving up 1 hit today. 2 runs feels like a lot, and I'm sure it's a big, heavy weight on the shoulders of Mike Martin, the Florida State dugout. As Tommy Henry's rolling, that run means a lot.
Sure does. As Tommy Henry, he's got to feel the wind beneath his wings right now. Pitching phenomenally. Was that a half an hour of real time there just to cool down in the bullpen as his teammates are getting it done on offense here. 2-0 lead. Bought him some insurance. He's given up 1 hit. That is likely not going to stay the same. I mean, if you're Michigan, you got to think 2 still, probably not going to be enough in this one. But they've used 5 of their 9 innings right now on offense. They're scoring at the pace they need to in order to win this one with the way their pitchers play.
Absolutely. And Tommy, to talk about his future going on here, I think Michigan won the Pizza Hut battle as Falco's going nuts over there.
Yeah, 3 little kids in Michigan gear win the pizza battle over the Florida State
Michigan
kids.
winning on and off the field. Fantastic. But Tommy Henry, coming up here, he's done his work very well to the heart of the lineup of Florida State. He's got through Albert, Mendoza, and Martin very efficiently. All of them, actually, none of them have a hit. So here, Salvatore has that leadoff double. So all of them, neither one of those guys have a hit. And he's coming here against the 5-hitter Flowers. Nelson DeSada's coming up, due up the order for Florida State. Henry's done a great job, and he can afford to work heavy here with the bottom of the lineup coming up.
Yep, bottom of the lineup right now as J.C. Flowers steps in to bat. The junior center fielder who just recorded the out to end the inning is hit by a pitch, and we talked up Tommy Henry maybe a bit too much there. Beams J.C. Flowers in the elbow, who is making some moves now for the Seminoles. Ends the inning, gets hit to get a leadoff runner on base.
Yeah.
They started the first inning with a double, couldn't cash in. We'll see if they can improve upon that first inning outing here. As now the catcher, Matthew Nelson, steps up to the plate. The right-handed freshman is batting .283 on the season and is 0 for 1 today. One of 8 Florida State batters to not record a hit so far.
Was one of those pitches where Tommy Henry threw high and in, and it just happened to go a little too far high and in, hit Flowers, right on the elbow there. But J.C. Flowers, the guy who has so much talent for this Florida State team, was actually drafted again by Pittsburgh Pirates in the 4th round. Has 13 stolen bases in the season, so you got to watch out him with the base path.
That one is driven into left field, got the fans to gasp, and even fighting against the strong right field fielded wind, gets into the stands. So 0-1 count now for Matthew Nelson. And Tommy Henry gave up a double to the first batter of the day, then retired everyone. He had 13 consecutive batters retired.
Yeah.
Ends that streak right there by beaming J.C. Flowers in the elbow. Gets him a guy with 33 stolen bases, as you mentioned, on first base to start the inning. Not a great start. Up 0-1 right now to the catcher. And that's going to be a low ball, 1-1. Donovan throws to Kerr to try to get J.C. Flowers out, but he makes it back home in time. Back to first. Rarely are you able to get a runner out that way.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to see Donovan snap back. That's the first time he's done it really in this entire NCAA tournament from what I've seen. And J.C. Flowers didn't seem like he had much of a lead. He wasn't fake stealing or nothing. It was just Donovan keeping him honest, which is okay. And really Henry's doing a great job doing that, switching up his looks as well.
Nelson tried to get a piece of that one and whiffed. That's going to be strike 3. So that Tommy Henry returns to business after beaming one batter. Down goes the catcher Nelson, and now we have switch hitter DeSadas coming up to the plate for the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, there's a lot of hitters in this Florida State lineup. They have 4 lefties, they have 1 switch hitter, so they only have 4 true righties in their lineup, something that you don't see a lot in college baseball.
Sure don't, and Arkansas has 5 lefties in their lineup.
Yeah, that's another great example.
As the first pitch is fouled back for Nandru DeSadas.
Unfortunately, Tommy Henry did surrender the leadoff hit by pitch, but he's still well controlled into this game. He still has all the control in the world to decipher whether the Wolverines come out with a win or a loss in this game. Right here, he's answered very, 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 very well. He's striking out Nelson and then getting the first pitch of the first at-bat against DeSadas.
Pitch number 2 is just barely foul. That Blake Nelson's heart must have skipped a beat there as that one just went left over the third base bag. Rolling foul. So 0-2 count now for Nandru DeSadas, and it's a game of inches. That's the difference between maybe a double and being down 0-2 in the count.
Exactly, and DeSadas there saw a changeup there from Tommy Henry. So 0-2 count here. I've been preaching to the choir all year about throwing a fastball high and away because I love that pitch 0-2, and Henry's been delivering that pitch very, very well today. So I would like to throw a fastball here away for Chris Fetter calling pitches. And then earlier, giving another breaking ball.
And if you go 0-3 count there, 3 pitch at bat for Tommy Henry, getting right back to business. As pitch number 52 is a beauty. Got DeSadas to catch his swing. Should have gone all out on that one.
Yep, and he throws. He proves me wrong. He throws a changeup low throughout the zone. It was absolutely fantastic. Started right at the knees and broke away. Bounced right in front of Donovan. Donovan keeps it in front of him. Huge strikeout for Tommy Henry. Again, being so efficient with all of his pitches. Not wasting any of them. Hitting locations. Getting break on his curveball, slider, and changeup. Doing very, very well today.
Carter Smith now up to the bat as the first pitch is high. 1-0 count for the junior first baseman, Carter Smith. He's got his teammate at first base, the place he usually hangs out. We'll see if he can do anything here. And Tommy Henry's done a phenomenal job now forcing a extra base hit here if he's going to surrender a run in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 count, 53 pitches recorded on the day, and 4 strikeouts for Tommy Henry as he tries to keep J.C. Carter honest. As both he and Donovan have done a phenomenal job of that so far.
Yep, and another example there, Tommy Henry doing very, very good job of switching up his looks and keeping the base runners always honest. We saw that a couple times against UCLA where a couple guys out of the bullpen were not switching up their looks. They were being too consistent, and UCLA, after the first look, went off and took second base as Tommy Henry throws the ball over to Jimmy Kerr again, keeping Flowers honest.
Yeah, no better time to send a guy when you've got 2 out.
Yeah, exactly, and Henry's done a great job of switching up his looks and being aggressive with throwing over to first base.
Yep, Florida State is still 0-for-3 with runners in scoring position, and those represent the first 3 batters of the first inning. This one is driven to center field, and Jesse Franklin calmly collects that one. So, Tommy Henry still hasn't given up a hit. Did hit 1 batter, though, but since then, 0 walks in this whole game. That's pretty ridiculous.
Fantastic.
1 double given up, 1 batter hit, but he is now almost through the lineup two trips through the lineup.
Yep.
And he's retired all but 2 of them. I mean,
he's been great. I mean, and right there again, giving up a leadoff hitter, or giving up a hit or a hit by pitch for the second time in this game to a leadoff hitter, has found a way to collect his composure and go out there, throw strikes, hit spots, give a great action on his slider and his changeup. Gets out of the inning, still throwing a shutout, going into the top of the 6th, has the Wolverines in great position to take home the W here and advance to next Friday. But again, Tommy Henry's been fantastic. His fielding behind him has been fantastic. And it's something promising to see for Eric Bakich and the Wolverines.
He's retired 17. He'll have the bottom of the lineup in Tim Becker, followed by the top of their lineup if he wants to get through 6 unblemished. But so far, so good for Tommy Henry and the Michigan offense now. They've done their part. Haven't really carried the weight, really, in either of these games. Did a good job against Texas Tech, scoring 5 against one of the best bullpens in the country.
Yeah.
Put up 1 against them with no hits, actually. Only got 2 hits against the bullpen of Texas Tech, which scored a run in an inning without earning a single hit. So, base running is one of the strengths of this team.
Exactly.
We saw how Jordan Wogu cashed good base running in for a run in the past inning. So
and it's a combination of great base running, but also timely hitting. I mean, this Wolverine team with 2 outs continues to deliver. We saw Jimmy Kerr do it there. We saw Jimmy Kerr do it in Game 1 against Texas Tech Saturday. And we saw Blake Nelson also do it. And this is a team that, in clutch situations at the dish, continues to provide and execute runs for this Michigan Wolverine team. And it's just been fantastic. They're continuing to roll for the 3rd straight at-bat against Christian Bullock. It looks like Florida State is going to shift. Nope, that's not. Mike Salvatore is rolling back to his traditional shortstop position.
Bullock started 0 for 5 in Omaha, but has since been walked and got on the first base before trying to steal second and getting tagged out on a play where he might have been safe, but it was a bang-bang play. You got to win by more than that if you want to get the call.
Yep.
And as the first pitch, he shows bunt, but it's going to go down as a strike. Good pitch down the middle here for Chase Haney coming in relief for C.J. Van Eyck. Bullock gets a piece of this one, but that's not going to escape TD Ameritrade Park as the center fielder kind of trips up a little bit, but is able to catch that one. Kind of scared all the Florida State fans. You can hear him gasp.
Flowers is backtracking and kind of slipped up on his cleats there, almost fell, but ultimately gathers himself and gets a big out there for the Florida State Seminoles.
And Austin Falco, our Mr. Michigan Baseball, has just given us the news that Tommy Henry, recording 2 strikeouts in that inning, has now broke and set the Michigan single-season record. He's up to 121, and the Wolverines are hoping to give him another chance to pitch later this week and maybe extend that record. But 121 is the new Michigan single-season strikeout record.
Fantastic season all year long from Tommy Henry, and not only was he great in the beginning, he's showing that he is great right now. Great season by Tommy Henry. The year's not over yet, but you've got to tip your cap to a guy who's been very, very fantastic all year for the Wolverines.
As Jack Blomgren, who has struck out twice in this game, looks at the first pitch, goes down 0-1, and now the second pitch of the at-bat is low, so 1-1 count for Jack Blomgren, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2 on the day, grounds one right to third base. He doesn't have to move, and it's going to be a simple throw to first. Oh, and the first baseman can't handle it, and Jack Blomgren is on with the first error of the game. This line score is pretty interesting right now. If you cover up the runs section, you might think this would be uglier than it is. 7 runs, 0 errors for Michigan. And they just put up an error for Michigan on the big board here. That's obviously incorrect, but 1 run, 1 error for Florida State. Michigan up only 2-0, but they've got a runner on with 1 out, and Joe Donovan up to the bat.
Yeah, big turn of events here for the Wolverines. It's Mendoza, probably the best overall player here on Florida State, 3rd-round draft pick of the Washington Nationals. Got a ground ball right in front of him. Again, a lot like the Auburn third baseman yesterday. Double clutch. Had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. Delivers a strike over to Smith. Low, and Smith could not pick it for the first error of the ball game for either team. Huge turn of events. See if Joe Donovan here can capitalize.
That one was almost too easy, as he did not have to move his feet at all to ground that ball, but could not make the throw.
But many professional third basemen will tell you the toughest play is the ball hit right at you, because you got to think about it. You have so much time to think about it, and mistakes can happen, and that happened there to Mendoza.
Pitch 1 is inside for Joe Donovan, who has singled and grounded out today. 1-0 count for him, as Blomgren almost went there. And now the infield collapses to go have a mound meeting with Chase Haney, who has yet to give up a hit. Came into a jam with runners on the corner, ends up recording 2 straight outs, but now his infield kind of failed him there. Put a runner on base. Michigan, who probably the weakest part of their team all year round, was fielding. They had some hiccups in Los Angeles, escaped in Game 3 with a very big throwback to home for Jimmy Kerr to tag a runner out, advancing from first following an error.
But, I mean, you look at this entire series, you look at the College World Series, both games against Texas Tech and this game against Florida State, defense has been fantastic. And it's really been the difference in both those ball games. I mean, Texas Tech made a couple errors. They made that the insurance run that Michigan got to go up 5-3 was an error over by third baseman. The first baseman, Warren, couldn't pick it. And in this game, there's another error right there. Hopefully Michigan capitalize, see if they can do so here. Joe Donovan can maybe shoot a ball in the gap. But, again, man, the Wolverines have been so consistent with their glove out in the field. And it's been a huge swing of events here for the Wolverines, especially when they struggled so much, like you said, in L.A.
Pitch number 3 now is going to be just paint the corner, and that'll go down as a strike as Joe Donovan's now 1-1 in this count. The scoreboard beat me to it. They had that mound meeting and I lost track, but 1-1 count, 1 out, runner on first. A lot of ones on the board here. We'll see what Joe Donovan can do. That one's high. Blomgren tries to go and ends up returning to first wisely as Matthew Nelson nearly beat him to first base, but he was quick to return.
Yeah. Really sharp snapback throw from Nelson over to Smith. A little in the dirt, but Smith, unlike his scoop there at previous play, got on his knees and blocked it almost like a catcher himself. Great job keeping the ball in front of him. If he lets the ball get behind him, you know, Blomgren maybe gets the second, maybe even the third. So great job by Smith there to keep the ball in front.
2-1 count for Joe Donovan. That one is just high enough. 2-2 count now for Donovan, who has not swung at a pitch yet in this at-bat.
Yeah, Chase Haney, a guy who's got a little bit of a sidearm action to him. He's not firing up that radar gun. He's been hitting 82 to 86 consistently. So Joe Donovan, a guy can get out in front of one, man. He can really turn one out in the left field.
Gets contact with this one. That's a pop-up, but it's placed right between the second baseman and the left fielder. Good move there by the second baseman, chasing that one way out into the outfield. 2 down for Michigan with just a runner on first.
Yeah, big play there, but decided to track back really into no man's land between second baseman and right field. Tough play. He got his glove right out in front, got under the ball, made a great, fantastic catch. It's always one of those plays, such a tough play in baseball. Really into those in-between fly balls between second base and right field, or shortstop and left field, or really second, short, and center fielder. Those are always such tough plays, especially for an infield that has to backtrack. Great play there by Decidus to keep out there and keep Blomgren at first.
The freshman shows off his nimble feet and is able to get out there quickly with some fancy footwork. As Akeo Thomas comes up to the bat, he is 1 for 2 and takes a strike looking on the first pitch of the at-bat. So now Haney, only having thrown 16 pitches so far, has retired 2, should have 3, but his infield failed him with an error, putting Blomgren on first. Akeo Thomas takes a swing at that one. Ball rolls foul. 0-2 count for Akeo Thomas, who was already struck out today, getting behind in this count, and of course he is the hero of the Los Angeles Regional.
Yeah. Again, there's another pitcher from Haney who is not letting the radar gun up. He threw a little, and it seems like it's a little off-speed action, and Akeo Thomas was well in front of him. He's got to sit back. He's got to sit, load, and explode, otherwise he's going to keep being off his front foot.
Thomas gets a piece of that one, but it's a low grounder. This will be an easy throw to first to end the inning. No error on that one. That is easy business right there. As Haney now looking pretty good, retires 4 out of 5. Really should have been 5 out of 5. He'd have 1 unearned runner on first. So Michigan is now only 3 for 12 now with runners on, but they're 3 for 9 with 2 out and 1 for 6 with the runner in scoring position. But Florida State, they are 0 for 6 with runners on, 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They've had 2 chances to get a batter on, both times to start the inning, and then just nothing doing.
Exactly, and it's been a great job by Chase Haney to come out of the bullpen and be efficient with all of his pitches. Like I said, he's got that sidearm action, and it's not, like I said, it's not letting up the radar gun, but he's been efficient with his pitches. He's hitting spots, he's changing eye level, he's going inside, outside. Great job keeping all of Michigan batters out on their front foot, off balanced, to keep this lead at 2-0. And like I said, we've been tuning that horn all game long. 2-0, 1-0, 3-0. Any of those type of games can easily switch, and things can change so quickly in baseball. A walk and a 2-run home run ties this game up. So great job by Florida State to keep this game where it's at and really, really strive to work up the scoreboard and get right back in this game.
Yep, Florida State now in 2 pitchers duels already in the College World Series. They won 1-0 against Arkansas with a go-ahead run in the top of the 9th inning.
Yep. And then we were talking about it earlier, but God, this Omaha, this College World Series, it's been a great game every single game. We haven't had a bad one yet. There's been, the Vanderbilt game, I believe, ended up being 3-1, maybe 4-1. Again, not a blowout. There's always excitement stuff in the bottom of the 9th. I thought the Auburn-Mississippi State game was going to be the biggest blowout. It was 5-1, it was 4-1 going to the bottom of the 9th. Boom, Mississippi State scores 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th. There's just been great baseball here in the College World Series. And again here, another close game where Florida State's in the pitching battle. 2-0 here, going to the bottom of the 6th.
Michigan, who will be defending in the bottom of the 9th, or at least they hope to be defending in the bottom of the 9th. You can never have enough runs in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never big enough of a lead to feel truly comfortable, but they're up 2-0, and Tommy Henry will try to give his offense a chance to expand on that, as the first pitch is a swing and a miss. Another dime right there from Tommy Henry as he gets Tim Becker swinging, the 9th man of the Seminole lineup. Don't want to put the 9th batter on base and give an easy job for the top of the lineup. Mike Salvatore, the leading hitter, is the only man to get a hit on Tommy Henry so far today. 0-1 delivery. That one beams the pitcher, and he does exactly what I told him not to do. Hits him right between the numbers 3 and 7 on Becker's jersey, and that's now back-to-back innings started with hitting the leadoff pitcher, and Mike Salvatore, the only man to get a real good piece of Tommy Henry ball pitched so far today.
Yeah, this is
up to the plate.
If there's one inning where Tommy Henry had to prove himself, it's this inning. You got the 9-hitter and you got the top of the lineup. So you're probably going to see the heart of the lineup with the runners in scoring position and coming through, especially in that 3rd time coming through the lineup. This is the inning where Florida State needs to capitalize. It's got to be this one.
And it's the bottom of the 6th now. Things are starting to tighten up. You can feel it in your stomach, Yvette. Not a whole lot of time to correct for any errors made here in the 6th.
Yeah.
One on. Florida State is 0 for 6 with a runner on right now, so can Tommy Henry keep that trend up against the best part of this lineup? First pitch is fouled away toward the Florida State dugout.
Yeah, this is the top of the lineup, but it's very dangerous. Mike Salvatore up to the plate right now. We've been saying again, 9th round draft pick, Seattle's Mariners, 338 average today, or average on the season, but hitting 400 with runners on base. So this is a guy that can do a lot of damage in clutch situations. But Tommy Henry's the guy who's been very good, delivering a changeup low in the zone that Salvatore got out in front of. Again, here's Tommy Henry's got to hit spots.
That one is low. No, it's a strike. Kind of caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
I personally think that was a ball, but it's going to be an 0-2 count for Mike Salvatore.
Ball or strike, regardless. It was a great spot by Tommy Henry, low and away in the outside corner. Great job, hit the spot, up 0-2 now. See what he's going to do here. Last time he came with a low changeup. See what he's do here, 0-2.
Yep, if you can make him close, it can go your way, and that's part of the game.
Absolutely.
Tommy Henry, phenomenal so far today. There's no reason to expect any pitch of his as a ball. Salvatore gets a piece of that one. Bullock trying to locate it, struggles. He has to leap, and he makes that one. What a play there by Christian Bullock, who struggled to locate it. And he is a couple of times made Michigan fans feel uneasy.
For the 2nd time this game, Christian Bullock has taken 3 steps in. If you're an outfielder, that is the cardinal sin. Your first step has always got to be back. That's just that's a rule. Your first step has to be back. Christian Bullock took 3 steps in, then he had to sprint. He had to turn around and sprint to catch that ball. Fortunately, it fell in his mitt there. Could have been a disastrous play for the Wolverines. Thank God Christian Bullock has that speed to backtrack to make that catch.
And I think Becker scores if that goes over
oh,
his
absolutely.
head. He was a step away from second when that ball was caught.
And it's one of those things in baseball though. You have to see the ball off the bat well, and I just don't think Christian Bullock's seen it off the bat well today at all.
Let a batter get a piece of that one. A guy who's already gotten to him today, but Christian Bullock, maybe not great fundamentally there, but he's so athletic, makes up for it. That one is also just high enough. Reese Albert not going to want to swing on one that low, but has to take a second strike right now, and you could tell right there, right after that pitch, he was kind of frustrated. He knew Tommy Henry kind of has his number right there.
Yeah, great two pitch by Tommy Henry. 2 fastballs that reach the corners both inside, low and outside. 0-2 here. Break that slider off right now. I'm okay with it. Break that slider off. Get that strikeout.
Gets him swinging, and that's batter number 5 retired by strikeout for Tommy Henry. That's his 5th K of the day, and he extends his lead on the Michigan all-time single-season strikeout list.
Yep.
To 3 now, 104 on the year.
Yeah, and he did exactly that. 2 fastballs that looked great. He breaks off that 0-2 slider, strikes out Albert. Big strikeout there. And that's just another case, an example of Tommy Henry being super efficient with the pitches he's delivered. 2 great jobs setting up fastball. 2 great fastballs that set up that slider. They got the punch out. Great job of Tommy Henry. For the 3rd time in this game, he gave that leadoff batter a chance to get on base, and now he's working his way out of it. Great job by Tommy Henry.
Yep, 2 outs. Florida State's now 0 for 8 with runners on. And time is called as Tommy Henry was halfway through that pitch. As some boo-birds come out there after that one.
Greg Charles, as the umpire, Tommy Henry's coming set. He lifts that leg at the plate. Mendoza calls his time, and Greg Charles rewards that time. You cannot do that. If a guy is in his set and he's coming up to pitch, he's coming in his delivery, you cannot grant time. You just cannot.
So it's still an 0-0 count for Drew Mendoza. Maybe he got away with one there. And he calls time again. Joe Donovan, I think, maybe called time there. Looked like he was adjusting something with his glove, maybe.
Yeah, Tommy Henry had to completely stop his motion. His leg was up. He planted his leg, and he had to stop from delivering the ball to home plate. Just hate that. You can't do that if you're a home plate umpire.
Henry keeps his composure and gets Mendoza chasing that one low.
Doesn't matter what you do to Tommy Henry, though. He's still coming delivering right there. That's a great changeup that breaks to the zone and gets Drew Mendoza, probably, like I said, probably the best hitter on this lineup. 311 on the season, 603 slugging, so very good. Sitting at 16 home runs, 331 with runners on base.
And wouldn't that be great for Henry if he can retire Mendoza to end the inning and not let Robbie Martin bat 325 following Mendoza, as that pitch is inside for a 1-1 count. Mendoza's already struck out once today, one of the 5 victims of a Tommy Henry strikeout.
Yeah, another pitch, a fastball alone inside that was just not granted by home plate umpire Greg Charles. It doesn't matter for Tommy Henry, though. That fastball still can pay dividends. That's a setup pitch. You can deliver it inside. Now you can break that slider low and away.
Pitch number 65, right to Jimmy Kerr. Makes a diving play. What an athletic move there by Jimmy Kerr, using every inch of that 6'2 frame to get to that ball. That could have been a dribbler out to right field and would have probably advanced the runner to third. Going opposite field. Yeah. Jimmy Kerr wants no part of that. Gets his shirt dirty. It's all worth it, though, as he's able to jog back to first and quickly beat Mendoza.
Again, a clutch play by Jimmy Kerr there. He did it with his bat earlier in this game. He did it with his bat against Texas Tech, and now he does it with his glove. Another instance of Jimmy Kerr being clutch.
And I'll quickly transfer the mic over to Austin Falco here as Andy, your day is done, and maybe your College World Series is done if Michigan holds on to this one. Andy has been a great newcomer here for us at WCBM, was definitely the second most active baseball caller. Austin Falco is Mr. Michigan Baseball. No one's coming through his throne anytime soon. The 3 years he's really given to Michigan baseball, and it's been so great that they've been able to send him away with a College World Series appearance. They extended their day one record to 6-2 here at the College World Series yesterday. Got their first win since 1983, first appearance since '84, and they might be into the championship round of the top bracket here in Omaha. Just need to win 1 or 2 games against whoever their opponent should be. If they can hold on across the next 3 innings, get 9 more outs, and not surrender 2 more runs than Florida State does. So Austin Falco, we're now rejoined here, and you might get to call another win here in Omaha for the Wolverines.
That would certainly be fun to do, I'll say that much, but I do want to acknowledge a little bit of disrespect thrown your way to Mr. Nick Hornberg, who was also huge on baseball college.
Nick might have been number 2. He joined us in Omaha for the Big Ten tournament. That's a real gritty thing to do. Don't make it out for the flashy College World Series.
You make it out for the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, that is Midwestern values embodied right there.
Although I will say we're really embodying some Midwestern values up here on the roof. The wind's starting to come in. It's starting to cool down a little bit here on this Monday night in Omaha. Maybe that favors Michigan a little bit. You know, the famous saying that they put out during this postseason: you can't get hot if you don't know the cold.
Yeah, I think Michigan, if they could, they'd invest everything, the whole athletic department, maybe just put the whole budget on the table and try to get an Arctic Blast to roll over Omaha. Then you might as well cancel the series then with where the rest of these teams are from. Would be not fans of all of playing in the cold. But Michigan right now, it's chilly.
First pitch hitter Jordan Wogu leading off the top of the 7th inning is a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. And how about Tommy Henry? I know I was on the call for a few innings there, but I missed some great stuff from Tommy Henry. Really seems to be locating. We'll see him a little bit more at the bottom of the 7th, I'm sure. Second pitch to Wogu in this at-bat is a called strike at the belt this time. And now it's 0-2.
Wogu already has a run in each game here at the College World Series. Maybe he can build off that, though, and get his first 2-run game here in Omaha.
He was driven in by a Kerr RBI single as the 0-2 pitch just misses off the plate away with a breaking ball. The count goes to 1-2 on Wogu.
Yeah, Wogu, who has not shined in the past few games like he frequently does, still hasn't really gotten hot, but frequently contributing, being a part of runs for this Michigan offense. You know, he's a guy who's having a bad day when he's only getting 1 run sometimes. He
swings here and fouls this one off just to our left up over here on the right side of the field. I'm assuming someone made a nice grab over there by the cheers, and counts to remain 1-2.
There's like a 10,000 pound of concrete separating our field division from whoever caught that ball, but it was impressive. I can tell you that from the way the crowd reacted.
Jordan Wogu staying alive here in his 4th at-bat of the game. He's 1 for 3 so far, single and a run scored back in the 5th. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, swinging and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a pitch, moving away from him. As Wogu came up, that's the first strikeout of the day for Chase Haney, still on the mound for Florida State here in the 7th.
Yep, he has not given up a hit so far. Only runner on base was an error, to no fault of his own. And now Jesse Franklin, the best hitter of the day, doing it in every way, except the walk. That's how he normally gets on base. Led the Big Ten in walks. The best eyes in the Midwest, we can call it, for Jesse Franklin.
That might as well at this point. I mean, yeah, the Big Ten is the Midwest, so yeah, I could definitely say you got the best eye at the plate at the Midwest, you say, and he takes a huge swing and a miss there at an off-speed. 72 miles an hour on the radar gun from Haney there.
Definitely looking for number 2 there in some deja vu. Jordan Wogu goes out, and then he tries to follow it up with another homer. We'll see if maybe that's still in the plans for him as he's down 0-1.
Takes the second pitch at the knees, looks like maybe on the inside corner, and the count is now 0-2 on Franklin. As you said, Franklin, the hottest hitter of the day for either team, really. 2 for 3, home run on the first pitch he saw in the first inning, on a single most recently in the 5th. In between there, he did go down swinging against the starter Van Eyck. He fouls off an 0-2 pitch here against Haney back to the screen, so he'll stay alive this time. Count will remain 0-2.
Yep, Haney hasn't really let batters extend at bats with just fouling back ball after ball. He's only up to 26 pitches right now. He came in early enough where you got to start, counting that reliever's pitch count. But he's done a good job being efficient in getting outs.
See if he can hang around just a little bit longer here in the 7th. No one warming up for Florida State. That seems to be all Haney right now. The check swing is fouled into the Florida State dugout. Count remains 0-2.
Souvenir for one of the coaches there. Can't tell what account. That might have been Mike Martin. I can't really tell.
I think Mike Martin's all the way down at the end of the dugout, right near home plate. You can talk to Greg Charles, home plate umpire. I'm sure plenty from that perch.
Sure can.
Veteran coach. I'm sure he's had his fair share of conversations from that spot. Another pitch followed back to the screen by Jesse Franklin. Keeps the count at 0-2. That's 5 straight pitches here thrown for strikes from Haney to Franklin. Last 3 foul off with 2 strikes out.
Yeah, Franklin just recorded home run 13 in the first inning, leading the club of 12 home runs for like half this Michigan lineup almost. With 12 homers. You heard that repeated like a million times in the Los Angeles Super Regional on the broadcast.
Yeah, the top 4 hitters in the Michigan lineup all came into this game with 12 home runs. Franklin at 13. Now he has a deep fly ball towards right center field. Now this one's going back near the track, and that's going to be run down by the center fielder Flowers on the track in right center, just shy of that 375 sign for a long out number 2.
Yep, another one that might have been gone back at the fish in Ann Arbor, but that's you really got to work for those home runs here in Omaha. And I'm sure the Michigan fans here, they all thought at first, at least a second there, that might have been number 2 of the day for Jesse Franklin. Michigan, who has not had a 3-run lead for more than just a couple of pitches so far in this College World Series. They'd like to make it easy on their pitchers for once.
Jordan Brewer takes a hack and bounces out the end of the bat down the right field line. That one's going to trickle foul.
And that is a fortunate roll for Brewer as he was kind of dead in the water there. Although he's so quick,
He might have beat that out.
Yeah, that actually might be his at bat. If he could maybe place every ball right there, just have it kind of park right along that foul line, he would actually probably prefer that because he's so quick. But didn't look great out. Not the contact he was trying to make, that's for sure. And isn't forced to really run and work for that one. 2 for 3 on the day, or 1 for 2 walked in the first inning.
He takes a hack here and fouls it down the left field line. That one's hooking. Yeah, that one's going to get just barely not out of play.
With the wind today, that one might have had a chance. It's blowing hard toward the first base line. That could almost have pushed that one there.
Yeah, that one there. And also going back to the Jesse Franklin hit, that one knocked down by the wind that is now bellowing in from center field pretty much straight away, maybe a little bit towards the right field corner.
Brewer now down 0 for 2 in this count. Struck out in his last at bat.
Coming set is Haney. Works exclusively out of the stretch. The side armor fires. Call. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Got Brewer with the breaking ball there. Brewer second strikeout of the day. Haney second strikeout of the day. Second of the inning as well. And Michigan goes down 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Michigan leads Florida State by a score of 2-0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast here for Michigan baseball on WCBN Sports. We thank everybody for tuning in today.
And we recommend you get comfortable. Michigan does not like to make these things easy.
Well, and if we learned anything last night, this ball game is probably far from over.
Nope, even with Tommy Henry pitching, you can't really count this one over. He's only put 3 runners on base, and Florida State is 0 for 9 with runners on. But the offense not really doing enough to pull away from this one, and Michigan just doesn't like to leave it easy ever. Christian Bullock had that insurance run in the top of the 9th in the Los Angeles Super Regional. Ben Kaiser still put runners on second and third to keep things interesting. Really the last truly carefree game was the first game of the tournament where they went up 6-0 against Creighton. Never really had a doubt in that one. They were down for a bit there against Cincinnati. That one was pretty easy toward the end. And then the last game against Creighton, got down early, but Creighton just had no arms left, and Michigan kind of strolled into a But right now, I mean, they're
on the mound, locked in. Right now is Tommy Henry.
Yep, Michigan going to the Final Four in basketball last year, Frozen Four a couple days later, and now about 14 months later, the baseball team is not far, not really a concept too much talked about in college baseball, the last 4 teams in it, but with the win today, they'll guarantee that. They're already in the Sweet 6, Super 6?
Super 6, Sweet 6. I know there's the Omaha 8.
Yeah, Omaha 8.
I guess maybe this, I sound like the Super 6. That sounds, it's got a nice little ring to it. Super 6. I don't know what to call the Final Four. You don't really call it the Final Four. It's a basketball. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, Tommy Henry's going to start things off here on the bottom of the 7th. First pitch to the left-handed hitting Robbie Martin. Misses high and away. It's 1-0.
And important for you folks at home wanting to stay tuned to our coverage. The game will be at 1 o'clock on Friday if they win. Should they lose, they'll play at 6 on Wednesday, trying to get into that 1 o'clock Friday game.
Looking pretty good right now with Henry on the mound. Michigan's feeling really confident with how he's pitched thus far today. 1-0 wind up and the pitch. Off-speed called, strike at the belt. It's 1-1.
Tommy Henry only at 66, 67 now, pitches through 6 innings. A complete game is now on the table. He's 2/3 of the way through to 100, 2/3 of the way through the game.
There is a little bit of stirring in the Michigan bullpen. Can't see who that is, but it might be Jeff Criswell again up on the mound as a swing and a miss there from Mendoza. Rather from Martin comes up empty. It's 1-2 on him.
Very interesting to see how Eric Bakich handles this just really spoil of riches here for the starting pitchers. He won't need a 3rd starter if he can win today's game and get to Friday. Then Kaufman should be ready to go on 6 days rest.
Henry takes a breath here. Winds up. 1-2. Just misses with the slider low and away. It's 2-2.
2-2 count for Henry. Having a really nice game through 69 pitches. He hoping to get out of this one quick and maybe get that complete game.
Lefty here. 2-2 count for Tommy Henry. Winding up. The pitch. This one's hit in the air towards left field. Christian Bullock taking a few steps back. He will range a little bit towards the line and make the grab. Never really set his feet. He's having a tough time judging balls out there today, but makes the grab regardless.
He is the most exciting outfielder to watch I think I've seen in a while. Of course, you never feel 100% with him fielding after the way Game 2 ended in Los Angeles, but he more than made up for it. Has not let anything by him since, and he covers everything in that left field. It's the quickest outfield maybe in the whole NCAA tournament. It's weird when your center fielder is the slowest guy in the outfield, but and that's no insult at all to Jesse Franklin.
He's got two speedsters covering each corner, in Brewer and Bullock.
Yeah, both of those guys could be athletes in a variety of sports. They're just so quick. Speed is needed everywhere.
J.C. Flowers up to bat now. He gets his third look at Tommy Henry Day and takes the first pitch strike. It's 0-1. Flowers has seen exactly two pitches before that one. He bunted back in the second inning, right back to Henry, who threw him out. Line was hit by a pitch in the fifth on the first pitch of that plate appearance.
So this will be his longest at bat
So
of
he's
the day
already his longest time at the plate today. I don't know if he's anxious to get out of here or what, but he's not paid by the hour, we'll tell you that much.
Yeah, hopefully he's enjoyed his time at the plate so far. We'll have to make the most of it. By Michigan's plans, at least, he won't be up again. With the way Tommy Henry's been pitching, he might not be.
0-1 pitch, fastball misses low, it's 1-1.
So just saw his first strike of the day, now sees his first ball. As he's still warming up in this one, really.
I guess technically the bunt is a strike, I believe. I don't think hit by pitch is officially a ball, though, so I don't know what. That's kind of double standard there if you think about it.
True.
1-1 pitch from Henry. Swing and a miss there. Got him with a slider, moving down and maybe a bit in on the right-handed hitting Flowers, and now it's 1-2.
Yep, Tommy Henry retires the first one quickly, looking to get done with Flowers before pitch number 75 here. Of course, more important than anything, keep runs off the board. If Criswell or Kaiser or anyone else needs to finish it for you, let them do it. Just keep no runs on the board. 1-2
pitch, swing and miss, another slider down, strike 3.
And number 105 on the season, 6 on the day, came into the day with 99. And that's just been smooth sailing for him so far. I mean, it really looks like right now with the way he's throwing it, he can still go a full 9. Don't want to jinx him, though. You never know. Anything can happen. With how tight this game is, if he gives up one homer, that might be enough to end it with Jeff Criswell. Is that him in the bullpen? We can't really see
it looked like it was Jeff Criswell. That stature out there definitely looks like Jeff Criswell to me.
6'4" guy made a great out in Saturday's game using that frame.
First pitch from Henry to Matthew Nelson's hit in the air towards left field corner. This one's down near the line. Christian Bullock tries to go over there but can't get there. It'll bounce over the wall for a ground rule double.
Well,
it's the second hit Tommy Henry's given up all game, and second double he's given up today.
Yeah, and we talked about Bullock's speed, but even he really can't get to that one. Fastest guy on the team. I'm not sure if anyone could get there. Now, runner in scoring position. Florida State, only the second time they've seen that first time since the first inning. They're 0 for 3.
Bullock came really close to getting that on the replay there.
Yeah, and he's kind of fortunate that one took a hop over the fence because he went all out on getting that and did not have really any backup. Although along the left field line, probably not a triple either way.
I think it would have had to take a funky bounce off one of those doors by the bullpen to really result in anything more than a double. That's what ended up being anyway. That'll bring up Nander DeSatis.
Yep, big moment for the freshman here. Can get his team back in this one with one swing of the bat.
Henry comes set. Lefty to the switch hitter batting righty. First pitch is a swing and a miss at a great changeup, moving down and away from the right-handed hitting DeSatis.
Yep, back to business as usual after surrendering his first error in 6 innings. And can't quite do the mental math quick enough, but a lot of batters.
Henry stares in. Nelson on second, not taking a big lead at all. The catcher, not the fleetest of foot, but can run a little bit. Will definitely score on a base hit.
20 batters, by the way.
0-1 pitch, misses low. It's 1-1.
So 20 batters, not all in a row. Hit 2. No walks still, I believe.
No walks on the day yet. Henry, knock on wood there. Announcers jinx in effect always.
Knock on folding table.
Knock on folding table up here on the roof at TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha.
Should be our last game up here.
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah. Well, as teams go home, there might clear more room from the press box. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Got to finish off this one first. Do the Wolverines. 1-1 pitch. This one's muscled off to the right side. That'll be foul. And the count's 1-2 now.
Jimmy Kerr playing many steps away from first base. Maybe could have gotten to that one if he were lined up right on first with how slowly that one crinkled. Would have at least been chasing it down, but he is about 10 steps back and 10 steps to the right of, or left rather, of first base.
His right, our left, if
Yeah.
we look at the field. Close enough. Yeah, Jimmy Kerr definitely playing off that line, though. Michigan playing DeSatis to pull.
Florida State fans making themselves heard.
Michigan fans also getting on their feet now, ready for a 1-2 pitch. The offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a slider. Tommy Henry looks in at Joe Donovan. Joe Donovan congratulates his pitcher as they walk back to the dugout, and Tommy Henry gets strikeout number 7 on the day to set down Florida State in the 7th.
And congrats to Tommy Henry for breaking the record yet again. His own record now, 106 on the season. If all goes to plan for Michigan, he's going to have a chance to build on that someday next week. Michigan, right now, they are 6 outs and another win from the College World Series finale. For all you Michigan fans who might be newer to the NCAA postseason in baseball, you got the regionals, super regionals, and here in Omaha, it's kind of just that system repeated with only 2 regionals. 2 brackets of 4. Last team in each, the only team to avoid taking 2 losses in each bracket goes on to a 2 or 3 series to win the College World Series. So you can lose 2 games in Omaha and still win the whole thing. Oregon State did that last year, lost their first game, ended up making it all the way. They were a top 3 team last year, I do believe. Seeded nationally teams, and those nationally seeded teams have not had a great time here in Omaha. Arkansas, the 5th team in the whole country, already the first team gone. It'll be Auburn or Louisville, who is the 7th seed Auburn, a 2 seed going into this. Louisville, the 7th seed nationally. Auburn was one of 16 teams to receive a 2 seed, so somewhere between 17 and 32 in the committee's eyes. Michigan and Florida State, though, I'm sure you've heard it already, but 2 of the last 4 teams in, and these teams right now, one of them is 2 innings or maybe some bonus ball away from the championship round of Bracket 1 here in Omaha.
For Florida State, there's a new pitcher on the mound, Jonah Scalero, making his 25th appearance of the season. He's 3-2 with a 5.00 ERA. He's got a couple saves in the season as well. 45 innings pitched on the year, 46 strikeouts, 23 walks. The batting average against on the season is not listed in the Florida State stats, so don't really have that one for you.
A perfect 2-to-1 strikeout to ball walk ratio, 46 and 23 on the season through 45 innings pitched. And Jimmy Kerr now steps up to the plate, who is responsible for 3 of Michigan's 7 RBIs here in Omaha.
He's an Omaha guy. He really got his bat going last time Michigan was in Omaha a few weeks ago for the Big Ten tournament.
He was a couple of feet away from a grand slam in that second Nebraska.
That would have been the game tire, or actually no, earlier on in that ball game would have put Michigan ahead by a couple runs, and Michigan ended up losing by that 4 spot. Rather by 3, I believe it was. He drove it around the sac fly on that one. Either way, Jimmy Kerr starting off the bat, lefty to lefty here. Scalero to Kerr. First pitch, call, strike on the inside corner. Off speed there, 78 miles an hour. It's 0-1.
Jimmy Kerr now lighting up every single stat here displayed in Omaha. Got his first triple in over 2 seasons, as we were reminded in the press conference on Saturday.
1 for 3 on the day is Kerr, and he swings and misses at a breaking ball in the dirt.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to do some business here, chasing that one. Scholar got a piece of him right there. We'll see if the lefty has any more heroics in him today. Already providing plenty so far in this College World Series.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, another breaking ball, low and away. Just overmatched there for Kerr. Did not see the ball well from Scalero at all. He goes down swinging for out number 1 in the 8th.
Blake Nelson now steps up to the bat. He is 0 for 3 today, and that has cost him his reputation as a 300 batter, dipping to 298 now.
He was coming into yesterday's game, or rather, sorry, 2 days ago now, Saturday's game. Was sitting at 299 coming in, had himself a nice 2 for 4 day. And then, yeah, just kind of dipped a little below it today with the 0 for 3 performance, 2 strikeouts, and a pop out to center. This time he pops up a bunt near the right side. Ranging over is 3 Seminoles, but no one can make the play. So it falls harmlessly for a first strike, and Blake Nelson will get a second life here.
Yep, just takes 1 swing of the bat to get back into that 300 club. We'll see what he's got in store for here, though. Yeah, looked ready to bunt right there. We'll see if he sticks to it now that he's kind of tilted his hand. Infield doesn't seem too worried about it. They're all kind of playing outside.
I would be surprised if he laid down another bunt
Yeah.
here, or attempted to lay another bunt down here. As here's the windup for an 0-1. He is not bunting here. Takes an off-speed pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike 2. It's 0-2 now on the Wolverine third baseman.
Yep, and Michigan kind of stuck at 7 hits for a while now. Have not recorded a hit since that 5th inning where they did strand Jesse Franklin at third, but got Jordan Wogu home for his second run at the College World Series.
0-2 pitch coming for Scalero. Yet to throw a ball yet in this inning, and now he bounces one in the dirt. It's 1-2.
Yep, the inning is young, but his only 1 out of 6 pitches so far going down as balls as Blake Nelson climbing back into this at-bat.
The windup 1-2 pitch. This one's popped up. Is it going to stay in play near the right side? Ranging over is the catcher Nelson. He's going to run out of room with the Michigan dugout. It gets a few rows back. The wind really pushing that one now that it's kind of gusting in towards the dugouts, the Michigan dugout specifically on this third base side.
Yep, that American flag about 300 feet away from us is kind of blowing right directly at us right now. In and toward first base is the way this wind is blowing. And that probably saved Blake Nelson right there from a very high ball that would have given the catcher Nelson a lot of time to end his fellow Nelsons at bat.
1-2 pitch, breaking ball. Blake Nelson lays off as that one bounces in front of the plate. Thought about swinging, but checked it well in time. And the count is 2-2.
Yep, smart check right there. Stays in this one. And he is still looking to rejoin that 300 club. Staying alive in this one. Brings Scalero up to 8 pitches.
Wind up 2-2 off ring. Check swing on a below breaking ball. He went around, did Blake Nelson. That's strike 3. So Scalero comes in, strikes out the first 2 batters he sees in Curran Nelson, and now it's Christian Bullock's turn. Another lefty from Michigan with 2 outs and nobody on.
Bullock still looking to get on base, to get a hit for the first time here in Omaha. Got on base with a walk, ends up getting tagged out on a play where he 50-50 call really as to was he safe.
I think on that one, if he had slid and touched the front of the bag when he was sliding, I think he's probably safe in there, but it looked like he almost touched the top of it. Never really got his hand on that initial part of the bag. There's the first pitch to him, and this at-bat misses low, 1-0.
Yeah, we saw a couple of nifty swim moves from Michigan base runners really throughout the whole tournament. Here there was no need for it, though. He was behind the second baseman who tagged him from in front, so maybe could have dove forward a little bit differently.
Yeah, not really sure how he could have gotten around it per se, but either way, 1-0 pitch here is a big swing and a miss at a breaking ball and comes up empty. It's 1-1. Christian Bullock trying to hit himself on the scoreboard down the right field line, or put one near where Jesse Franklin put it down that right field line. And it's 1-1.
And even if Michigan can't get anything out of this inning, if they could get Bullock on base, that would guarantee an at-bat from Jordan Wogu.
Winding up, 1-1 pitch. Misses low, ball 2. And Michigan going through the order for the 4th time already in this ball game. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the 8th, Florida State will be finishing up their 3rd time through the order with 8-9 and 1 due up. Lefty to lefty. 2-1 pitch. This one's popped up near the left side. Going over is the shortstop, Salvatore, but he'll watch the left fielder Becker run near the line. He's still running, and drops the ball in foul territory.
So Christian Bullock gets all the way to second base and breathes a sigh of relief. As his at-bat is still gets a chance to bat here. Not going to sink to 0-8, I think. Did he get to 5 at-bats or 4 yesterday?
Let me check my scorecard right here.
Yeah, you've always got that. You're always working that thing. Always have all the stats right there, ready for us whenever.
0 for 4 yesterday. So far, 0 for 2 today.
So does not fall for 0 for 7. Would have a .125 on base percentage in the CWS if he gets out here, but
I'd like that to be a little bit higher as the 2-2 pitch. Swinging and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt, strike 3. So Scalero comes in, strikes out the side, all of them swinging. 1, 2, 3 go with the Wolverines, and we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Michigan leads Florida State by a score of 2-0. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. And a big thank you for tuning in today as we are happy to make this trip to Omaha. We've really enjoyed our time here in Omaha, along with all 23,541 people in attendance here for this Game 6 of the College World Series. Also a shout out, we've seen and met plenty of friendly people here
Nebraska nice. That's like the Board of Tourism slogan here in Nebraska.
We have met a ton of great people, including people over at Planet Subs Omaha, who were nice enough to treat us to some lunch today. I talked with the owners, David, and had some good food. And we tweeted about it earlier on our Twitter account, but Danny, we have to head over there and grab some on the way back to Lincoln later on today.
Hopefully, traffic will be rough on the way out. I don't know what their hours are, but I'll be happy if I can get out of Omaha in general in an hour. So
might have to stay around for a little bit and let the traffic die down. I'm sure you'll be waiting anyway.
Yeah, might as well just go to the post-game conference before heading back. We'll see. Well, this game could be going pretty deep into the night too.
You never know. As we said, yesterday's ball game, Game 5 of this, Game 4 of this College World Series, Mississippi State Auburn. Auburn looked to have that wrapped up, a 3-run lead in the 9th inning, until Mississippi State scored 4 runs in the 9th, including, I believe it was 3 of those were with 2 outs, if I'm not mistaken. The last 2 at least were scored with 2 outs. The tying go-ahead runs were with 2 outs.
As the wind is really picking up, blowing around our Seminole Baseball 2019 handbook here.
Mike Martin, right there in the front. Sweet Caroline is being sang to us by the crowd. He has the 23,500 roughly in attendance today. It started off not looking like we would have quite as big of a crowd, with the grandstands not really that full, but they filled up about the middle of the game. And the general admission outfield, of course, full as it has been for just about every single game thus far.
And 23,000 is a really nice amount for a Monday night game.
Tommy Henry fires a first pitch to Carter Smith at the knees for a strike with the fastball. It's 0-1. Henry coming into this inning, pitch count was at 80 pitches even through 7. There's Jeff Criswell. Looks like he's warming up in the pen, but not too intensely, not even throwing off the rubber quite yet. Kind of tossing the ball around. There's a wind-up 0-1 pitch here is fouled behind the plate on an off-speed pitch, and now it's 0-2. Another nice grab up there by a fan.
Tommy Henry, again, not throwing balls, being efficient here, not really getting into too many battles here with batters and extending at bats into double-digit pitches. Doing a great job, only 82 so far on the day through 7 innings.
Michigan fans clapping along, encouraging Henry here as he winds the 0-2 pitch. Just misses off the plate away with the fastball. Counts 1-2.
I could hear about 20 different Michigan fans moaning on that one. Definitely, Michigan fans are always going to think that one's a strike. Seminole fans, I'm sure, will always see it the other way.
Strike zone's been close around those edges today. More often than not, they're called balls. Another 1-2 pitch here. Swing and a miss. And a slider. It's a strike 3, strikeout number 8 for Tommy Henry on the day.
Yeah, Tommy Henry not leaving at the chance. I'd like to see an ump call that one a ball. As we saw right there, Becker get a big piece of nothing. Smith rather, a Becker due up.
That's Henry's, as I said, 8th strikeout of the day. His 6th since the start of the 5th inning.
Well,
he is really just locked in as this game has gone on. Seems to be getting better and better with his location. His stuff just looks great. He's getting Florida State swinging and missing a ton. All 8 strikeouts have been swings and misses. None of them looking yet.
Now getting through 8 1/3, still scoreless, only surrendering 2 hits, and now up to 84 pitches. Complete game definitely on the table right now, but more importantly, keep runs off the board.
Cooper Swanson is a pinch hitter for Florida State. He squares and bunts it foul over the screen to start his first at-bat of the day. Swanson on the season, a 161 hitter in 87 at-bats, but does get on base at a 365 clip thanks to 25 walks on the year. Just have a lot of strikeout in this game. In those 87 at-bats, 38 of them have ended in strikeouts.
Only problem with that plan from Mike Martin is that Tommy Henry hasn't thrown a walk yet today.
Tommy Henry is pounding the zone. And Swanson does have 7 home runs, does have some pop in the bat here. This one is grounded hard towards short. Jeff Bauman makes the play on the backhand and 1 hop in the hole, makes it strong throw to first, and plenty of time to get Swanson for the second out in the bottom of the 8th.
Great composure. Would maybe like roll into the field or it's been all year, but it's been phenomenal all year here in the NCAA tournament. But they've really gotten better at fielding That was their bugaboo all year round, and now they are through 8 2/3, still scoreless, no errors, only 2 hits surrendered.
7 2/3 officially.
7 2/3.
Not quite to 8 yet.
Yeah, we're not in the 9s just yet.
Mike Salvatore steps up 1 for 3 against Tommy Henry today. His 4th look at him starts with a ground ball off of Henry on the mound. Henry tries to scramble, grabs the ball, and doesn't bother making a throw to first base.
Unfortunate result right there for Tommy Henry. I believe that'll go down as an infield single. Now,
Yeah, almost certainly. There's no way you could charge Tommy
Yeah.
Henry with an error on that one.
Yeah, I probably should have let that one bounce in hindsight. But, you know,
That didn't really have a chance to get out of the way of that
well,
one.
yeah, well, I think, you know, you have to be Neo from the Matrix there maybe to dodge that one.
I think Tommy Henry's day might be done. Eric Bakich is making the slow walk to the mound. I didn't see Criswell really warming up too heavily. There was no really reason to look down there with Tommy Henry. Maybe just checking on his pitcher after getting hit. That's probably the more likely cause for this mound visit from Eric Bakich.
Yeah, Criswell is not looking toward the infield right now. Now he just looks toward it, but he is.
Yeah, Criswell, I was going to say, never really got started out there. As Bakich checks on Tommy Henry. Henry says he's just fine and he'll resume play. Looks like he got him around the hip area.
Salvatore is now 2 for 4 on the day, the only one to have any success against Tommy Henry. But the issue, Florida State, they are still now 0 for 10 with runners on.
First time that Henry's, or the second time now in the last couple innings, Henry's let a runner on that wasn't the first batter of the inning. But Reese Albert, 0 for 3 against Henry today, including 2 strikeouts in his last 2 at-bats. Takes a first pitch fastball high and away, or rather off-speed there, high and away. It's 1-0.
It will be interesting to see how Bakich handles this one. His pitcher is pitching so well right now, but it's a 2-run lead. Tying run already at the bat, and if he puts another one on, things could get dicey, and we might see a Criswell sighting. And that's a phenomenal reliever if you have him.
Yeah, Criswell is warming up a little bit more heavily now, and a swing and a miss at a slider comes up empty. It's 1-1 on Reese Albert.
And I do think if he can retire Albert, we will see Henry next inning too. He's at 89 pitches only. He can probably get out of this one under 100 in the double digits still.
Eric Bakich has shown a willingness to ride his pitchers, and Tommy Henry doesn't have pneumonia this time around. He can ride him a little bit longer as this one is hit in the air towards center field. Jesse Franklin takes a few steps back, now runs in on the ball, still running in and makes the grab for out number 3. So 90 pitches even for Tommy Henry through 8 innings. He is 3 hitting the Seminoles. Michigan leads Florida State by a score of 2-0, headed to the 9th inning. Listening to WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. And Falco alongside Daniel Thompson. Andy Laidlaw's on the call for the first 6 innings of this one as well. Thank you for tuning in to our coverage of Michigan baseball all tournament long here and all season long. Calling all the home games at Ray Fisher Stadium, the Big Ten tournament here in Omaha. And now happy to come back where the stakes are the biggest they can possibly be here in college baseball.
Could not be any higher. Michigan right now, they bottom of the lineup. That they were really the heroes of the Los Angeles Super Regional. The top of the lineup didn't do a whole lot. Bottom though, they were the ones driving an offense, producing runs, and now Akeo Thomas will be batting 3rd. He had that go-ahead 2-run RBI in the Los Angeles Super Regional. And if any one of them can get on base and avoid a double play, Jordan Wogu will be up to bat. Then if Jordan Wogu can do something, then you got Jesse Franklin. This is a scary position for Florida State because it might be, if they let anyone on, it could be an avalanching effect and they could bury themselves before the bottom of the 9th, where they still very much have a chance. A lot of their top batters due up. Drew Mendoza, Robbie Martin to lead off that inning, batting .313 and .325.
I mean, the flip side of that is Florida State does have Jonas Scalero out there, who looked nothing short of dominant in his 1 inning of work in the 8th inning. Struck out the side, all of them swinging. Michigan just did not see his breaking ball well at all. 3 righties due up for Michigan now. Jack Blomgren, Joe Donovan, and Akeo Thomas. As we have a switch out in left field. Coming into the game is the freshman Elijah Cable, replacing Cooper Swanson, who was the pinch hitter last inning for Tim Becker at the bottom of the lineup.
Excuse me, as the wind up here in Ameritrade Park blew something into my face. Not sure what that was, but it's windy.
Oh, right over there?
Yeah, I'm thankfully that was during between innings, so.
Yeah, you didn't miss any action quite yet, as Jack Blomgren still making his way to the plate. In the batter's box now, waiting for the go-ahead. Scalero on the mound, ready to deliver to Jack Blomgren. Scalero, the lefty, works out of the windup. First pitch to Blomgren. Misses low with the off speed. It's 1-0. Blomgren on the day reached base on an error back in the 6th, but struck out twice before that. Once looking, once swinging.
Yep, after having a really nice super regional, maybe dislodged his pinky, still fought on.
As the 1-0 pitch misses high, 2-0.
Not made a whole lot of noise here in Omaha. 0-3 on the day, but would be the perfect time to change the script of this one.
That's winding up. 2-0 pitch to Blomgren. That one, Blomgren thought missed maybe a little inside, maybe high, but called the strike by Greg Charles. It's 2-1 on him now. Yeah, as you mentioned, Jack Blomgren been gritting out this entire tournament. Hurt his back in Corvallis in that regional. Still delivered an RBI single. Broke his finger in LA. Still finished that game and scored a run. As the 2-1 pitch is called a strike there on the off-speed 2-2. The question is, what sort of minor injury is Jack Blomgren going to pick up here in Omaha?
Well, we'll hope for his sake it's something, it's maybe a bit more tame than the other two. Pretty gruesome what happened in Los Angeles. They had to shelter the cameras from it. 2-2
pitch, call, strike 3 at the knees. Blomgren goes down for the 3rd time today on strikes. He's got the hat trick, and that's the 4th strikeout in 4 batters that Jonas Scalero has faced in this ballgame. Scalero absolutely locked in, and that'll lead to Joe Donovan, the Wolverine catcher, coming to the plate. Donovan 1 for 3 on the day, had a hard single back in the 2nd, but has since grounded out and topped out.
So we'll have Joe Donovan up to bat. Did get a hit early in this one and fielded out twice, so.
Lefty to righty now. First pitch misses low with the fastball, or rather look like a slider there. It's 1-0 on Donovan. And they keep flashing the stat up every time Donovan comes to bat, or at least his first at bat of the game today and Saturday. They had 17 hits coming into Omaha. As a check swing there, he went around, and the count is 1-1. 17 hits in the NCAA tournament, or in the postseason rather, coming into Omaha.
Had a really big game against Creighton. Really everyone was piling on hits in that 17-6 victory.
1-1 pitch, breaking ball on the outside corner, says Greg Charles. It's 1-2 now. Donovan, these last couple swings, more like half swings. Not really reading that breaking ball at all. No one has seemed to be reading the breaking ball from Jonas Scalero, as evidenced by the 4 strikeouts and 4 batters. Looking for another one here, 1-2 pitch. This one is fouled up just in front of us here, and that'll get into the second deck. It's still 1-2.
And that was playing with our hearts right there. I mean, being up here on the roof of TD Ameritrade, we really have no competition for these foul balls. We could have sent Andy over to come collect that one for us, but only souvenir here might be a Michigan win.
1-2 pitch, Donovan. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the off-speed again. 5 strikeouts and 5 batters for Jonas Scalero. He's doing exactly what Mike Martin wanted him to do when he brought him into the game, and that's just hold the Wolverines down, give Florida State a chance on offense.
Yep, Akeo Thomas here can get on base and then force the top of the Michigan lineup back on. We'll see if maybe he can increase our maybe a pinch hitter coming in. This would make sense for Riley Bertram time.
I don't think we're getting a pinch hitter. I think Akeo Thomas, they're just calling an offensive meeting over here perhaps, or Akeo Thomas needs to talk to, or wants to talk to Eric Bakich. Could be just a little bit of gamesmanship by Eric Bakich using his offensive timeout. I think you get 2 per game if I'm not mistaken. Just to kind of throw out this groove that Jonas Scalero is in right now. Make him stand on the mound for a minute or 2 before sending his senior out to the plate. And there you go, Thomas will jog back now after a brief talk with Eric Bakich. Thomas 1 for 3 on the day, singled in the 2nd, and then struck out looking and grounded out to his counterpart at second base over there, DeSatis.
And the scariest hitter in college baseball warming up.
Scariest leadoff hitter in college baseball. As Akeo Thomas squares the bunt and pulls back as that one misses outside. It's 1-0.
I can't say it's his words, not mine, unless I actually say his words, so.
I don't even know if it's his words. I think it's more Michigan Baseball's Twitter's word, Michigan Baseball team. As 1-0 pitch, big swing by Akeo Thomas there, comes up empty, and it's 1-1. You got a fastball from Jonas Scalero. He hasn't thrown many in his outing thus far, but it's 1-1 on Thomas. Scalero looks in for the sign, brings his hand to his glove, now winds up, 1-1 pitch. Thomas hits it off the end of the bat towards the Michigan dugout. Off a breaking ball again there, and it's 1-2.
Jesse Franklin can't quite juggle that one. And now trying to guess which teammate gets it. Looks like that was Jack Wise. No, Willie Weiss gets the souvenir here from
Willie
his
Weiss down
teammate.
there, got it. 1-2 pitch to Thomas. High fastball, 2-2.
Does it count as giving the ball to a kid if you give it to a freshman?
I think so. I think that counts there, yeah. It depends on who gave it to him.
Well, a sophomore in Jesse Franklin. So.
Yeah, that counts, yeah. Franklin's earned that right by being here for a year, I guess.
So throwing it to the kid.
The windup, 2-2 pitch to Thomas. Off speed misses low, or rather fastball misses low and away. It's full, 3-2. Thomas is worth the count full for the third time in 4 at-bats today. Seen a lot of pitches. Asa K.O. Thomas, the senior, finally getting a chance to come here to Omaha after a long career in Ann Arbor. 3-2 pitch. Swinging and a miss, strike 3 on a breaking ball. So Scalero, for the second straight inning, strikes out the side. Michigan goes down 1-2-3. Looking, swinging on those strikeouts. But we'll head to the bottom of the ninth. Michigan still holds a 2-0 lead over Florida State. You're listening to the official student radio broadcast of Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
And it'll be exactly 36 batters faced for Florida State unless they punch in 2 runs on the dot. Here, Tommy Henry is going to be the pitcher to come out if he gets a bit of applause if he charges out from the dugout. And his offense did it enough, but they didn't really make it easy on him.
Now, you'd certainly like to see maybe a 5 spot or something on the board.
Yeah.
So it's just a few more runs for Tommy Henry, given how magnificent he's been in this outing this far. He's got a tough task here in the bottom of the ninth, exactly what Florida State wants, the heart of their order. 3, 4, 5 hitters, Mendoza, Martin, and Flowers. Tommy Henry's going to have to go through them for the 4th time today, or at the very least, start going through them before turning it over to Jeff Criswell, who's warming up in the bullpen.
Yep, Eric Bakich has a pretty good backup plan should things go south here for Tommy Henry. Of course, if you were watching last night, Auburn and Mississippi State, the Tigers led 4-1 going into the bottom of the ninth before 3-out inning. Auburn really could have closed that, but a couple of errors, fielding issues, infield hits, ultimately was their downfall.
Yeah, really with 2 outs also. It was a couple of plays with 2 outs that changed that game. A ball thrown away, and then a ball that wasn't charged right, both by the third baseman in that ball game. I believe last name Julian was the last name. I never quite got the first name, the pronunciation of it. But the flip side of that is he drove in 3 runs for Auburn in that game. He had the 2-run homer and drove in another one, so it's kind of hard to blame it all on him when he was a main support of offense.
Yeah, that'll help avoid being the goat in the locker room. So, and with the way Michigan's been closing out these games here in the NCAA tournament, my guess is going to be Tommy Henry surrenders 1 run, puts a runner on 3rd before the final out is recorded, and Michigan takes the 2-1 win. That's been the way they've done their business. We'll see if they'll make it any easier on the Michigan fans here. You can hear the Let's Go Blue chants erupting from TD Ameritrade.
First pitch from Tommy Henry to Mendoza is popped up foul behind the plate. That's going to get out of play to the left side. It's 0-1 on Mendoza. Mendoza 0 for 3 today. Strikeout in the 1st inning. Fly out in the 4th inning to the left fielder Christian Bullock. And then in the 6th, a diving stab by Jimmy Kerr at first base. Took it to the bag himself and retired Mendoza.
Really, I mean, that probably is the hit 9, maybe 7 times out of 10, but great play there by Jimmy Kerr. Get to the ball and then back to the bag.
0-1 pitch from Henry. Just misses high and away there. It's 1-1.
Yep, as you've mentioned a couple times now, these are tight corners, which are really all the more impressive for Tommy Henry's 8 strikeout day and a shutout so far. Both pitching staffs performing phenomenally.
And part of that is lots of swings and misses from each side. That one watched there by Mendoza, and Henry gets ready, delivers a 1-1 pitch. Swung and fouled back to the screen. It's 1-2.
Yep, both really great start right now for both pitching staffs. Michigan only allowing 3 runs through 17 innings, and Florida State only giving up 2 in 18. So a really great day from both. Both pitching staffs might wind up with a shutout here in Omaha. No complete game yet, though.
Henry looking in, gets the sign, takes a breath. Now 1-2 pitch. Just misses off the plate away with the fastball. 2-2. Michigan fans up in arms here in Omaha.
Yeah, and you folks listening at home probably got a little taste of that reaction from the Michigan faithful. Did not agree with that call. Tommy Henry's definitely thrown 4 competitive balls here in this at-bat.
See if he can get him here on 2-2. Lefty, lefty, the windup, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the slider. Henry sets down his 9th. Florida State batter on strikes today. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
And that one, once again, not leaving up the question, gets the batter swinging. Number 9 on the day, 108 on the season, just pushing that record higher and higher. 2 outs away from a date with a Friday afternoon game that could send them into the championship round here in Omaha.
Robbie Martin steps up to the plate, 0 for 3 today. All 3 balls he's hit have been found the glove of the left fielder, Christian Bullock, line out and a couple flyouts. First pitch of this at-bat, lefty, high and away fastball, 1-0.
I can't recall the last time I've seen that where one guy goes down
three times yeah.
to the same outfielder.
Tommy Henry probably wouldn't mind a 4th here.
Not at all.
He pitched away to Martin just about every at-bat and got him to fly out that way. Pitched away there on the first pitch. This one is grounded towards the right side. Diving stop by Akeo Thomas. He gets up, throws to first base, and gets him out. Hang a star on that one, Akeo. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
And that's why you don't pinch hit him for Riley Bertram, who is the best batting average on the team. Kind of a small sample size, but hard to argue with batting 450 is Riley Bertram. But can't quite do what Akeo Thomas can do for you there. The defensive stud really gets Michigan into this crowd, and maybe Martin would have preferred flying out to Christian Bullock compared to that one.
That one's just agonizing there. You put the good ball in play, and Akeo Thomas robs you of a hit. Now it'll be J.C. Flowers stepping up to the plate. Flowers 0 for 2 on the day. Ground out, hit by a pitch strikeout. Tommy chants erupting from the crowd. First pitch fastball, strike 1.
And what an atmosphere here. Florida State, they brought a really good contingency given they're 1,200 miles away on the dot. But the Michigan fans making themselves heard, maybe even some neutral fans just inspired by this performance here from Tommy Henry. 1 out away from a complete game, maybe just 2 strikes.
Henry takes a breath, looks in, fires an 0-1 to Flowers. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on the slider. Or maybe the change up there, moving down and away from Flowers. That's how he got him his last time with the strikeout.
And here comes pitch number 100. Will it be the one to seal the deal?
No Maddox officially for Tommy Henry today, but I'm sure a 100 pitch on the dot. There's Jordan Brewer waving his hands in right field, getting the crowd on their feet. They're all on their feet here for Tommy Henry, looking for a complete game shutout to send the Wolverines to the semifinals. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tommy Henry screams on the mound. He 3 hits the Seminoles and sends Michigan to the semifinals on Friday here in Omaha, Nebraska. And hey, Daniel, who do you think the player of the game is here?
Let me guess. I'll take Tommy Henry.
That would most likely be correct as Michigan wins 2-0 over Florida State, and nothing short of an absolutely spectacular 10 strikeout, 3 hit performance, no walks from Tommy Henry today. You have to imagine you'll be hearing from him post-game in the press conference. And really just an remarkable outing. I really can't say anything more about it. He got stronger and stronger as the game went on. I know I kind of joked a little bit in our group chat earlier on in the game. We were thinking maybe get 7 innings out of Tommy Henry. He did a couple more than that and sends Michigan to a spot that just about no one thought they'd be in earlier on this season.
Oh my goodness, back here 3 weeks ago when they were in Omaha again, Jordan Wogu had the runners on the corners, 2 out in the bottom of the 9th, hits that double to the outfield here in Omaha. And that they're still playing because of that hit. And now they are into the semifinal. They are in the Final Four of college baseball. We're gonna have to come up with a name for that. We need a name for the Michigan baseball fans in Omaha. We need a name for the last 4 teams in college baseball.
You want to know something great about that? We got till Friday to figure it out because Michigan's got a whole lot of days off, and I think there's a certain right-handed throwing junior who got drafted by the Colorado Rockies, ready to go again on Friday, looking to send Michigan into the championship series.
And whenever Jeff Criswell does get the pitch, his arm is going to be very well rested. Only 38 pitches here in the first 2 games. That's a quick one, too, getting in just under 3 hours. 100 pitches on the dot for Tommy Henry.
Chris Fetter gives him a big hug outside the dugout right now. Michigan wins this one 2-0. Tommy Henry gets the win, moves to 11-5. C.J. Van Eyck gets the loss, moves to 10-4. No saves because Tommy Henry can finish it by himself. And Yeah, I'm just at an utter loss for words right now watching Tommy Henry perform, just how strong he got going on throughout the game. Michigan opened things up on the very second pitch of the ball game. Jesse Franklin went deep to right field. Little did we know that would have been enough if he had just stopped batting right there at the Wolverines.
Yeah, they could have quit right there after the 5th inning, but, you know, I'm sure Tommy Henry probably appreciates the rest he got. We want to just, throw 5 innings in a row. But Michigan now, in three consecutive years, they complete the comeback to win the 3-game series with Florida State, lose that Orange Bowl to them on January 1st, 2017. Then this past April 2018, win that game in the Elite Eight, go to the Final Four, and now Michigan finishes the two out of 3. They're going in the Final Four. Now, it's not over. Florida State and Texas Tech, 2 athletic programs Michigan has a history with. They're going to get one of them on Friday. So the series is not over with one of them. But across a lot of sports, Michigan kind of settling some scores right now.
A huge win here for Michigan. They'll play again at 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern on Friday with a chance to go to the championship series. They win that. They don't play again until Monday. From someone from the other side of the bracket, they lose, they'll get one more shot on Saturday to advance, and they've done themselves quite a service by winning their first 2 games here in Omaha. Again, we'll wrap things up here. Final score, Michigan 2, Florida State 0. The line score, Michigan 2 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Florida State no runs on 3 hits, 2 errors. Tommy Henry goes all the way, his second complete game of the season, first shutout of the season, if I'm not mistaken, in there. 10 strikeouts, no walks, absolutely dominant performance. And yeah, like I said, Michigan is in those final 4 teams. Anything else to add, Danny, before we head out for the night?
Big thanks to Andy Laidlaw, who is probably his time here in Omaha is done. I think if you told him, I know he was I'm sure he's thrilled with the way this went. Part of him was maybe hoping to get 3 games called in if he has to get back for the weekend in Michigan. But if you told him he's going to have 2 games here to watch the Wolverines in Omaha, I might have been a bit bummed. It's all gravy at this point, as you've said, but he's going to only get 2 games because Michigan is 2-0. They're going to have a win. They're going to have at least a 500 record in Omaha. They'll be playing at minimum 1 less game than whoever their opponent is on Friday. So you have to think they're in really good shape to, in all likelihood, make that championship round, be one of the last 2 teams in Omaha. I'm just kind of taken back here. This run, you and I have been able to watch them in person a couple times now.
It's fun to watch. Certainly
Yeah.
fun to watch. And we'll talk about it some more. I think Andy Laidlaw, he won't be done completely with WCBN Sports for the year. I think we're going to crank out a podcast when we get back to the hotel later on. So a little bit different setting than we've had podcasts before, but we'll still break down everything that Tommy Henry did, which was all pretty much good aside from a couple doubles and a couple hit-by pitches. That's going to do it for us here at TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha. My voice is starting to go on me. Michigan wins 2-0 over Florida State. They're in the final 4 teams. So see ya on Friday at 1 Central, 2 Eastern, as Michigan plays either Florida State or Texas Tech. Thank you all for tuning in tonight and all season long, all tournament long. We'll see you then. We wish you a good night. And as always, a Go Blue.